Welcome to Sunday Night with Old Time Radio, the 28th July 2024 broadcast. It's hard to resist these strange but true broadcasts. These shorts are always fascinating in their own way, and we open with Mr. Watt's Awakening. Next we move to Duffy's Tavern with a special guest, a man whose voice you may recognize. We follow with the Lone Ranger, Horse Thieves Steal Silver. This they probably find was a mistake. Mr. and Mr. North follows. We have Johnny Dollar appear. And then The Whistler, Death Has a Thirst. And we close with episode 25 of the Australian production, Dam Busters.
The name of James Watt is invariably associated with the invention of the steam engine and with little else. It is not generally known that he was also responsible for numerous other less important but still useful contrivances. Nor do many realize that one of his major discoveries belongs, because of its curious origin, in the chronicles of the strange and the incredible.
Within a few years after it was first conceived, James Watt's steam engine was a commercial success. And in the year 1783, its inventor was enjoying both the income and the prestige to which his great scientific contribution entitled him. It came, therefore, as something of a surprise to Dr. McGregor, the pastor of the local church, when Watt appeared at his door early one summer morning, clad in a workman's overalls.
I'd like to climb the church steeple.
The church steeple? What for, Mr. Watt?
It's an experiment I want to try. A crazy idea I got in my brain, and I cannot get it out. And I came by it in a crazy way.
What way was that?
I cannot tell you now for fear you'd laugh. But if you let me climb, Doctor, and if the experiment works, why then I'll tell you the queerest story you ever heard.
A few moments later, the inventor appeared carrying a large kettle in his hand. Perched precariously at the very top of the steeple, he raised the kettle and, with a sudden gesture, overturned it. Unable to restrain himself longer, Dr. McGregor ran down the porch steps and raced toward the church. But even before he arrived there, James Watt had descended from the steeple. The pastor found the famous man knee-deep in the waters of the moat, shouting excitedly.
It worked! Dr. McGregor, it worked! I stumbled on a new scheme for making ammunition. You drop molten lead, and it turns into gunshot.
Yes, Dr. McGregor's church steeple proved to be the first shot tower ever used. More than a century thereafter, leaden shot was the chief ammunition employed in the wars of Europe. And even today, similar shot towers are still in operation. But it is doubtful whether even their owners know the story that James Watt told Dr. McGregor that same morning. The strange story of what had led him to his experiment.
But I do not see, Mr. Watt, how you knew the lead would disintegrate when you dropped it.
I came by the idea in a queer sort of way. 'Twas in a dream.
A dream?
Aye, a dream that kept a-coming back to me next after next after next. I'd be standing in an open field, and all of a sudden, the clouds would burst and the rain would start beating down around me. Then I'd hold out my hand to feel the drops, and they'd be hard on my hand, like little balls of metal, and I'd say to myself, why, man, 'tis raining leaden raindrops, and that's a queer thing indeed. And then I'd wake, and the remembering of those drops wouldn't let me sleep again. And so at last I said to myself, could it be that fallen lead disintegrates, as you call it, and forms the shape of gunshot? And so I decided to find out, and I did, and that's all there is to it. 'Tis a strange thing, I know. How would you explain it?
But neither the man of God nor any other man since has been able to explain James Watt's strange dream. Had he unconsciously grasped the principle of his remarkable discovery and then projected it in the form of the rain symbol? Or was the dream what he himself intimated it was? A miracle incredible but true.
Behind every product of Bushels is the research and experience of over half a century. This vast experience and accumulated knowledge has gone into the wonderfully successful production by Bushels of their delicious coffee essence, an essence with a true, rich coffee flavor. Bushels Coffee Essence makes coffee that is easily, quickly prepared, a blessing on occasions when time counts, an ideal choice for that warm drink at bedtime. Yes, there's tradition and the knowledge of experts behind Bushell's coffee essence. Try it yourself. Notice its rich, enticing aroma, its full, satisfying flavor. Ask for Bushell's coffee essence.
The Columbia Broadcasting System presents Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. The next half hour has its baggage packed to take a trip with America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator, Johnny Dollar. At insurance investigation, he is just an expert. At making out his expense account, he is an absolute genius.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar. To Home Office, American Continental Life Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of my expenditures fulfilling your assignment as a bodyguard. The body being that of your late policyholder, Robert W. Perry. Expense account item 1. Fare on night train Hartford to New York, $3.80. Expense account item 2. $1.80 taxi to Lower Manhattan the following morning. To officers Perry and Van Bruten, importers, arriving as promised at exactly 9 a.m.
Help you?
Yeah, my name is Johnny Dollar. I have an appointment with Mr. Perry for 9 o'clock.
Oh, yes, from the insurance company. Well, you're right on time.
Yeah, they told me I'd better be.
Mr. Perry just came in. He's alone and waiting for you. I'll buzz him that you're here.
Thanks. What was left of your policyholder, Mr. Perry, was just sliding out of his swivel chair as I hit the room. The top of his desk had erupted, and splinters of mahogany pointed their sharp fingers upward through lazy circles of smoke swirling toward the ceiling. The buzzer from his secretary's desk had been rigged to a booby trap.
Oh, no, Mr. Perry.
Stay away from him. There's nothing you can do for him. He's dead.
Oh, what happened? What happened? Whatever happened?
Come on, let's get back out of here. Here you are now. Sit down. I'll get you a drink of water. There you are. Just drink this.
What happened? We
heard an explosion.
I
turned in an alarm. Is anybody hurt? There's a doctor on the third floor. Should I call him?
Never mind the doctor. Call the police. And nobody gets in here until they arrive. And the rest of you, go on, beat it. Run along. And turn off that alarm. Okay, miss. Now, just take it easy.
But it was all so sudden. What happened?
Well, that's not too hard to figure out. Somebody wanted to give your boss, Mr. Perry, a shortcut through life. So, whoever it was, figured out that his secretary would never buzz her boss unless he was at his desk. They rigged up a bomb somewhere in his desk that would go off when you buzzed him.
Oh, but then I killed him.
Now, wait a minute. Don't get hysterical on me. There's excitement enough around here, and there'll be plenty more when the police get here. Keep cool.
But I did it. You saw me do it.
Look, the way you put it, I killed him by coming in here and giving you my name so you'd buzz him. Drop it, will you?
I'm sorry.
Now, what about yesterday? Was he here?
Yes, all day.
What time was it when you last used the buzzer?
Wait, right up to the last minute, about 5:30.
Who left the office first, you or Perry?
Mr. Perry, he always leaves first, and I lock up.
Looks of things, you should have used more locks last night. Somebody got in here to do some wiring. Uh-oh, I forgot that fire alarm. All that equipment and no fire. Look, before the police arrive, do you know why I was sent here?
Yes. Mr. Perry recently felt that his life was in danger. He thought that, well, with a $100,000 policy, the insurance company would do everything they could to help keep him alive.
Well, we didn't have much of a chance, did we? What was he afraid of?
I don't know.
Okay. What were his other appointments for today?
He's only had 2. His partner, Mr. Van Bruten, at 11, and then...
One at a time now. Van Bruten. Anything special about their meeting?
Mr. Van Bruten arrived just yesterday from Holland.
You mean there was a branch of this firm in Holland?
Yes, and Mr. Perry was buying out Van Bruten's interest. They had their final meeting at Van Bruten's hotel last night.
Oh?
And Van Bruten was coming by this morning to pick up his money.
Cash?
No, a cashier's check. The bank is to deliver it here at 10:30.
Now, quick. Perry's other appointment. Who was that?
Christine, his wife.
Oh, yeah. Now Christine, the beneficiary.
Yes, but she wouldn't have been the beneficiary in another 2 weeks. They were getting a divorce.
Thanks for the motive. You don't like her?
I didn't mean it that way.
How about Perry? Did you like him? Okay, well, here's an easy one. What's your name?
Susan Gates. Now, isn't that about enough?
Okay, Susan, you'd better save your voice. During the next few hours, you're going to have a lot of talking to do. Oh, here come the firemen, and we haven't even got a child to ask them to save.
Where's the fire? I'm looking for a fire.
Just stick around. When the cops get here, somebody will get burned. The firemen should have stuck around because the cops arrived in a blaze of glory. It was a very high-class investigation. 2 lieutenants. Finally, after about an hour, the police photographer ran out of flash bulbs, the office of the deceased ran out of fingerprints, and the lieutenants ran out of questions. So the on-the-scene phase of the investigation was closed. At about 5 minutes of 11, I left the police to pack up their notebooks, their clues, and the body, and went into the outer office. Susan looked like she could use a big, broad shoulder to weep on, but unfortunately, I was wearing my light gray suit. About then, a dark blue suit and a deep green voice entered the room from the corridor.
Say, there's some feller out here says he belongs here. His name is Van Bruten. Shall I let him in?
Oh, what do you think? His name is on the door you just opened.
Oh, indeed, now. Well, my name happens to be Murphy, and it's on beds all over the country. But that don't mean I'm stuffed with feathers, does it?
This'll teach you, Johnny Dollar, never to cross tongues with an Irishman. Okay, send him in, officer.
All right, you can come in.
The policeman out there. Is there trouble here? Oh, I am Bremer Van Bruten. Where's Mr. Perry?
What?
He's waiting for me, no?
No.
But my appointment...
He's not keeping any. He's dead.
Dead? This is impossible. Last night I saw him. He was well. What happened?
He was hit by a buzz bomb.
A buzz bomb?
Please.
Oh, sorry. I forgot other people aren't used to these things.
That was foul play.
Very foul.
Please, may I sit down? My first visit in all these years, since before the war. It was to be so happy. Now, tragedy like this. He was a good man, a good partner.
I understand that as of last night, you were no longer partners.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I realize, of course, that it is indelicate to speak of such things as money at a time like this. Now, that is why I'm here, to receive my payment.
Oh, just because Perry got his, there's no reason for you not getting yours, huh?
But you misunderstand me. I am deeply grieved. Since the transaction was consummated, what is there to do? A delay would be a needless waste of money. I have already paid for passage back to Amsterdam tomorrow.
Your check is here, Mr. Van Bruten.
In all my years of business, this is indeed the saddest moment.
Yeah, those are very kind words, Van Bruten, and I'd believe them if your eyes would stop counting all the zeros on that check. Expense account, item 3, 90 cents. Phone call to your company.
American Continental Life Insurance Company. Good morning.
Oh, well, that's a matter of opinion. This is Johnny Dollar. Put me through to Mr. Gordon, will you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gordon's office.
Look, honey, this is Johnny Dollar. I want to speak to Gordon. Oh, and while I'm telling him what I've got to tell him, maybe you'd better sit in his lap with some smelling salts.
I'm not that type of a secretary. And besides, he doesn't have a lap.
Hello, Dollar. How are you making out?
I owed about $100,000.
What's that?
Yeah, somebody turned Mr. Perry into a firecracker. He's dead.
Oh, that's bad news. It's a big policy, you know.
Yeah. Look, what I want to know is, shall I stay on the case?
Oh, certainly, Dollar. Certainly, by all means. By the way, is there a chance of proving suicide? There's a non-payment clause.
To make this one a suicide, there'd have to be a Santa clause. Nobody could hate himself enough to do it this way.
Well, what are the fraud possibilities?
Only fair. There's an estranged wife. She's the beneficiary, but she wouldn't have been in a couple of weeks. Divorce coming up. I'll start with her.
All right, Dollar. Good luck. But watch those expenses.
Why, Gordon, I'm surprised. I think an insurance man would be the first to want to see a fellow live a little. Expense account, item 3. Cab fare, $2.80. Tip to driver, $1. Christine Perry's apartment was on Sutton Place, overlooking the river. And from what the doorman told me, all of the proprieties. I took the elevator up to the 24th floor, and there I discovered that our garden fresh widow was living high in more ways than one. Everything about the place was French. The maid that led me into the living room, the decor, and the perfume, which reminded you that breathing can be fun. I looked up from enjoying my nose to see Mrs. Perry looking down hers.
Mr. Dollar?
Oh, Mrs. Perry.
I believe we can dispense with any getting acquainted. You're an insurance investigator, interested in the death of my husband. So naturally, you're here because you've jumped to the conclusion that I killed him.
Oh? You're the one that's jumping to conclusions, lady.
Then what do you want? The policy's in order, the premiums are fully paid.
I'm not quite sure. I know that you've got a great motive. So far, the only motive I've found.
You haven't had much time to look, have you?
Check. This is my first stop. Maybe you can help me. Do you know anyone who would be happier with your husband out of the way?
I know very little about my husband's friends, or for that matter, his activities for the past 6 months when I left him.
Uh-huh. Well, that's not much help for either of us. Well, without someone else to suspect, I may just have to concentrate on you.
Mr. Dollar, I picked the men I want to concentrate on me.
Well, I hope you're as long on alibis as you are short on your temper. Where were you last night?
With a friend, Al Donovan. For a while, the same place my husband was. And I've witnesses to prove who was with him. Anybody at the Club Caprice can tell you.
Well, save me a trip. I can't afford the prices they get there.
Certainly, pleasure. My husband was with his beautiful little Susan Gates.
Well, I wouldn't be more surprised if your late husband walked through the door and said that...
All right, mister, that's enough.
Al!
Yeah.
How much did you
I'm
hear?
a big guy, baby, 6'4", and I've got big ears to make.
Al, please!
Would this be Mr. Donovan, your companion of last evening?
I'm getting you out of here, Christine.
Al, you don't know what you're saying!
You lie to me. How can I help you if you lie to me? You call me stupid. The way you're playing this, you'll alibi yourself right into a cell. I'm getting you out of here.
What are you doing to me, Al? You're crazy.
Come on.
She's right. You are stupid, Donovan. She was doing just fine till you dropped in.
Mister, you've been asking a lot of questions. Now I'll give you one answer. All right, Christine. So much for the wise guy. Now about you and your alibi. You wasn't with me at the Club Caprice last night, and if it's so easy to prove your husband was there with his secretary, who were you there with? You told me you were going with your husband, talking divorce, remember?
When Al measured me for that swing, I measured my chances with him. To me, he looked like one of the corporate assets of Murder Incorporated. So I rolled with a punch, hit the floor, and stayed there, with my eyes closed and my ears open. What I heard was Christine's alibi flying out the window, Mr. Donovan giving her a few loving cuffs, and finally the pair of them flying out the door. I allowed myself the luxury of a 20-second massage on the new lump on my jaw, and then I got up and started out after them. This case was becoming interesting.
In just a moment, we'll return to the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. But first, this important message. $60 million is what the Red Cross needs to carry on its great work in 1949. If this seems like a lot, just try to review briefly the various activities of the Red Cross. It can't be done briefly. Red Cross services extend into every area of our lives, bringing care, comfort, and recreation to the men of the armed forces, bringing first aid training, nutritional programs, nursing services, blood banks to our own communities. And all the time, as these activities go on uninterrupted, the Red Cross is holding itself ready to spring into instant action in case of disaster. Fire, flood, explosion, any sort of catastrophe finds the Red Cross on the scene with food, clothing, and medical care. $60 million isn't so much in the light of such activity. We can make it with each of us contributing. We're giving to our own safety, security, and peace of mind, and to our neighbors, too. So let's give generously to our own Red Cross. And now back to the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
I hit the street just in time to see Donovan pushing Christine Perry into a cream-colored convertible. When they got rolling, I piled into a cab and followed them, and the chase was on. At 57th and Broadway, things got complicated. My cab was 3 cars behind theirs when a red light flashed them to a stop. Then the door of their convertible flew open. Christine jumped out, dashed across the street, and down into the subway. Since Donovan didn't follow her, I followed him. When he finally pulled to a stop, he took 2 chances. He parked in a no-parking zone and walked straight into the building beside it, a police station.
This is Mr. Dollar, Lieutenant. He's been with for some time.
Huh? Well, you can wait outside, Sergeant.
Okay, sir.
My name is Johnny Dollar, Lieutenant. Here are my credentials.
Insurance, huh?
Yeah, the Perry murder in particular.
Well, you've come to the right place, Dollar. A man named Donovan just walked in here and made a full confession.
He what?
That's right. My clerk's just typing it up. In the meantime, the gentleman is down in the tank having a bite of lunch on the city.
He confessed. Does his story add up?
As far as I know. I haven't heard too much about the case myself. It's not in my precinct.
What did he use for a motive?
Jealousy. Says he's in love. Wanted to marry Perry's wife.
Did he say how he managed it?
Yeah. He stole a key to the office from the wife's apartment, entered the building last night, and wired a bomb to the buzzer system.
Uh-huh. Well, guys do a lot of strange things in the name of love.
Yeah, looks like Donovan did.
Yeah. He either killed a man, or he's trying to cover up for someone who did. Well, listen, don't execute him for a couple of days. Huh, Lieutenant? I spent the rest of the afternoon downtown in the offices of Perry and Van Bruten, importers. The partners' correspondents told me 2 things. They had been extremely friendly, and Van Bruten was extremely bald. Perry had been sending him toupees from a famous Hollywood makeup firm. At 4:30, I opened the drawer marked Employment Files. They rocked me with 2 minor explosions of their own. The folder marked Donovan Albert J. told me that he'd been employed as Perry's bodyguard over a period of years and that he was canned the day before the murder. Before I received blast number 2 from the folder of Perry's secretary, Susan Gates, the office door opened behind me.
Well, Mr. Dollar, you're supplied with a search warrant, I hope?
Just the one I was born with, Mrs. Perry. The kind they say kills cats. You know, curiosity.
What are you looking for?
I found it. How about you? What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm tired of dueling with you. I'm here because I want to... Well, I've got to talk to someone. I called your hotel. You went there. I tried to locate Susan, but I couldn't. Maybe you'll be down here.
What's the basis of our sudden friendship?
Oh, Al Donovan's confession.
The newspapers have it already?
Yes, but there's not a word of truth in it. He didn't kill my husband.
How do you know that?
Because... What? Why, it's impossible, that's all.
Yeah, it was a little hard for me to swallow, too, when the police told me about it. But since then, it's become a little more digestible.
What do you mean?
I just learned that he was your husband's bodyguard. He was fired yesterday. That same day, your husband calls his insurance company screaming for another bodyguard. Now, how would that add up for you? A beef, maybe?
Al Donovan's a fool. Never thinks. He just rushes in and says or does whatever's on his mind. He told my husband if he didn't divorce me that... Well, he threatened him.
You know, you came in here saying that Donovan's confession was no good. And you spend your time making it sound better and better. What do you want, anyway?
Can't help it. I've got to tell you the truth. I know it doesn't sound like I'm trying to help Al, but what can I do?
You really want me to answer that? Here. If you want to help Al, phone the police. Tell them Donovan made that phony confession to cover up for you. It's simple.
Not as simple as that.
You don't need the gun, Christine.
Hang up the phone.
Sure.
I hope you don't mind my aversion to being held for murder myself.
Well, that's a common aversion. I'm in no hurry to see you behind bars. But don't forget, when the cops want to pick you up, they'll do it. Now, don't spoil the rest of the afternoon. Take that gun someplace else. I've got things to do.
The first, I imagine, will be the call that I wouldn't make.
Well, not necessarily. If it'll make you feel any better, we'll just put this phone out of order. Satisfied?
Of course not. But don't get me wrong, Mr. Dollar. I wish you nothing but success in your investigation.
I puzzled over that exit line for a few seconds after she'd gone, and then I went back to the company's employment file, namely the application for employment as secretary of Susan Gates. It informed me that during the war she had worked in a munitions plant. Her specialty? Wiring bomb fuses. When Miss Susan Gates reached home at 8:30 that evening, she found a visitor, me.
Oh! How did you get in here?
A professional secret.
Oh, you scared me. What do you want? Why did you come here?
I wanted to bring you the good news. I heard on the radio that Al Donovan confessed to Perry's murder.
Al! I can't believe it.
Why not? Who do you like for the spot?
Why, Christine. Al is covering up for her.
I'd like to agree with you. If it turns out that Christine wound up her husband's life with a bang, the company that hired me saves $100,000. But I don't know. She claims she has all kinds of alibis. One of them is you.
Me?
Yeah. Did you see her at the Club Caprice last night?
Why, yes.
I know who you were with. Your boss.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I'm not preaching a sermon. I want to know who she was with.
I don't know. Man I'd never seen before. Mr. Perry knew him, but he wouldn't tell me who he was.
Why not?
I don't know. He said I might get the wrong idea.
About what?
I don't know. We didn't sit there and talk about it all night. Why should we sit here and talk about it all night?
All right, all right. When a census taker shows up and asks a lot of questions, people answer them. When an investigator tries to do his job, they make the proverbial clam look like a blabbermouth.
Look, Mr. Dell, believe me, this has been a greater shock to me than to anyone else.
Excepting, of course, your late employer, Mr. Perry. How long did you work for him?
4 years.
Now, where'd you work before then?
Why,
Let me help you. Bombs? Wiring fuses? Remember?
All right, I remember.
Good. Then maybe you'll remember a little bit more. Let's go back to last night. The guy with Christine Perry. Who was he?
I tell you, I don't know.
Was it Van Bruten?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I mean...
I'll get that.
No, I'll go.
You make sure you just don't keep going. Susan! When Susan snapped the spring lock to open the door, the gun outside opened up. The first slug caught her in the left shoulder, spinning her out of the way of the rest of them. It was getting monotonous. Every time a buzzer went off, things started booming. Susan was sprawled out on the floor in front of the door, and to open it, I had to move her. By the time I did, the hallway outside was empty. Okay, come on, take it easy. It won't start hurting for a couple of minutes. We'll have a doctor here by then. He'll give you something. Just try and keep calm. Here, I'll throw my coat over you. I'll try not to move.
Oh, trying to ruin this rug.
Never mind the rug. What we want to worry about is who tried to ruin you.
What'll they do to me?
What will who do to you?
Arrest me.
No, they don't arrest people for getting shot. You have any idea who it was?
That man in the office this morning. The one who picked up the check.
Van Bruten?
No, he wasn't Van Bruten.
He was a phony.
Yes.
And you still gave him that check?
Yes.
Well, I won't ask you why. But apparently you gave him the money and then tried to blackmail him. Is that right?
They'll arrest me.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Who is this guy? Where can I find him?
Oh,
Come on, now, don't pass out on me now. His name, quick.
Dad.
Where's he live?
Hotel.
Under his own name? I don't blame you. I could use a few moments of unconsciousness myself. The Nelson Hotel didn't have a Dutch name on the register, so I got a hold of the housekeeper and found out how many rooms her staff hadn't been able to make up all day because of Do Not Disturb signs on their doors. I went a-calling at these particular rooms. On the 9th floor, I awakened one old maid. On the 7th, I startled a bunch of poker players who thought they were being raided. On the 5th, I blushed my way out of the bridal suite. And on the 4th, I struck the door of 427 and the jackpot.
Who's there? Don't you see the sign? I do not wish to be disturbed.
Oh, sorry, I must have the wrong room. I started up the hall after the fire axe, but when I got to it, I changed my mind. One of the few things I'd learned about this guy Van Sant was that he loved to murder people through doors, so I decided against trying to chop his down. Then I remembered the way those people came pouring out of those offices earlier in the day when they heard that fire alarm. So I picked up the little red hammer next to the big red fire axe, broke the little glass window, pulled the little brass hook, and set off a big brassy noise. Then I rushed back to 427. Fire! Fire!
Where's the fire?
Right here in my eyes, sweetheart.
Why you come here? You wish you hadn't.
Never mind the dresser. You're through shooting guns for the day. Oh. What do you think, Vincent? You want to try some more?
You cannot make me stay here. The fire, we will all die.
You look good barbecued. But I'll make a deal with you. You talk. And if I like what I hear, I'll show you how to get out of here alive.
How do I know this?
Well, you don't think I'm going to stay here and fry, do you? And if you don't start flapping that tongue in a hurry, I'll probably just tie you to a chair and run. First, where's Van Bruten?
You will find him in the bedroom.
He better be alive. He's out cold. What's the matter with him?
He will be all right. He's on the sedatives.
Where did this identity switch start? You better hurry up. I smell smoke.
I knew Van Bruten in Amsterdam. I knew about the sale of his interest. And I knew that the girl in the office here had never seen Van Bruten. Well, let's go now.
Now, don't get up. I can feel it getting warm in here.
The firefighters. We will be saved.
Now, don't be too sure. They always start at the top floor and work their way down. Come on, I can hear those flames crackling.
You know the rest. Last night, when the transaction was all finished with Perry, I gave to Van Bruten some sedative in his cocoa.
You set up that bomb so Perry'd get it before you showed up to pick up the check.
Yeah, I told you that. Then it happened that girl didn't know I was an imposter. I don't know how.
Well, let me tell you. She's been sending old Van Bruten in there toupees for the last 4 years. Gray ones, my red-headed friend.
Oh, yeah. Let us get out of here, no?
Yeah, out cold. Expense account item 4, $1.40. Night letter informing you that American Continental would have to meet payment of claim to Mrs. Christine Perry, innocent widow of the insured. The only thing she was guilty of was trying to stay on the right side of a hot-tempered boyfriend. She lied about who she was with at the Club Caprice, not to fix herself an alibi, but to keep Al Donovan from learning that she'd been out with another guy. That guy being the real Mr. Van Bruten, who had only taken her out to try to talk her into reconciling with his friend, her husband. Item 5, $60, silver chafing dish. Wedding present for Christine and her new husband, Al Donovan. Well, that was the least she could do for the guy who had confessed to a murder he thought she had committed. Item 6, $8, flowers for Susan Gates, prison hospital. Item 7, fine for turning false alarm, $1,000 and no cents. And that's what I think I'm beginning to get for getting into this racket. No sense. Expense account total, $1,263. Yours, truly, Johnny Dollar.
In just a moment, we'll tell you about next week's Johnny Dollar Adventure. But first, this reminder. Just a little earlier tonight on CBS, Jack Benny turned dramatic actor on the Ford Theater. But this Sunday, he'll be back again on his own show with a special treat for the Jack Benny fans. After the last broadcast on which the Ronald Colmans appeared, thousands of letters came in from fans asking that Jack invite Ronnie and Benita back again soon. The Waukegan Wit did, and Ronnie and Benita, by popular demand, returned to the Jack Benny program this Sunday in what should result in one of the most hilarious broadcasts of the year. So be sure to listen to Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colman on the Jack Benny Show, which is heard on all CBS stations this Sunday. Listen in again next week when CBS brings you Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, with Charles Russell as Johnny. Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar is written by Paul Dudley and Gil Dowd, with music by Mark Warno, and is produced and directed by Richard Sanville for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Special Service Division invites you soldiers, sailors, and Marines of the United Nations to drop in at Duffy's Tavern.
Hello, Duffy's. Where do you late mate to eat? Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Oh, hello, Duffy. Hey, Duffy, you know who's coming down here tonight? The Lone Ranger. And we're serving a special Western dish. Frankfurters. Yeah. I'm calling them hot prairie dogs. Huh? Duffy, you heard the Lone Ranger on the radio. You like him, huh? You even sent away for one of his masks? Duffy, ain't you a little old to be running around with a mask? That mask is for Mrs. Duffy. Yeah, I see your point. Say, Duffy, by the way, you know who else just come in? Moriarty. Yeah, with a black eye. Well, you know, his wife wears slacks, and she caught him going through her pants pocket. Yeah, Second Story Jackson's here, too. You remember Jackson, the burglar? The burglar. Yeah. In the Army now, he's a bugler. Well, when he wrote down his occupation, he just happened to leave out an R. Yeah. He's having a little trouble. Oh, he's in a bit of a jam, Duffy. Yeah, he needed some dough, so he hocked the bugle. Now he says I gotta lend him $2 or Camp Dix won't get up tomorrow. Hey, Miss Duffy, Finnegan, Eddie.
Yeah?
The Lone Ranger's gonna be here any minute now. Now, leave us rehearse the song.
All right.
Eddie, give us the key. Hit the radiator with the bung starter.
Yeah.
Oh! Finnegan, I think you was just a little off there. Try it again. Yeah, that's better. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go.
Go, give me a home where the buffaloes rain.
Wait a minute. Mr. Archer, you sure that word is rain?
Certainly.
Well, I think it might be Rome, where the buffaloes roam.
Rome? Eddie, how many buffaloes do you know that live in Rome?
None.
Then keep quiet. Now leave us start again.
I know what the word is.
What?
Room.
Room?
Yeah, where they live, where the buffaloes room.
Yeah, I think you got it, Finnegan.
Yeah, look at that. 3 white guys standing around and it takes itself to death. Excuse me, but how does home rhyme with room?
Home? Well, maybe we should give the word home the Western pronunciation.
Western?
Yeah. Oh, give me a home where the buffaloes roam.
Wait a minute, Miss. Eddie, where you going?
I got a headache. Gonna get an aspirin. Well, what's the idea of all this, Miss Archie?
Well, I'm doing this to give the Lone Ranger a touch of the kind of singing that he's used to.
If this is the kind of singing he's used to, no wonder he's the Lone Ranger.
Archie, Eddie's right. Why don't you just let me sing alone?
You sing. Miss Duffy, your voice by itself will confuse the guy.
Why?
Because coyotes only travel in packs.
Yeah, but you see, in a Western song, I'm different. I'm good. You see, in a regular song, I sing with my diaphragm, with my bronchial tubes, and my larynx. But in a Western song, I sing up here, through the nasal passage.
Listen, Miss Duffy, tonight, if you so much as open one nostril, I'll massacre you.
Miss Archie, who's that fella coming in?
Where? Oh, that's Sam Weisbord. He manages the movie down the block. Hiya, Mr. Weisbord.
Hello, Hachi.
How's things at the Tivoli?
Colossal, Hachi. I had a great picture yesterday. Pecked him in, stood him in the aisles, played to capacity. Took in $11.
$11? Huh? What was the movie?
Oh, great picture, The Bite from a Nation.
Oh, revival.
What revival? The Tivoli is strictly a first-run theater.
First run? I seen The Birth of a Nation years ago.
But this is the first time in the Tivoli.
Well, what have you got there tonight?
Nothing special. A weekday show. An Argane comedy, a Hell Roach Turilla, a Terry Tune, 4 newsreels, a Benchley short, the Three Stooges, a Travel Talk, a Donald Duck, a Popeye cartoon, 2 government shots in the covered wagon.
Covered wagon, huh? Only one picture.
Well, we're only having one feature because of our extra added attraction.
What's that?
A Lone Ranger serial.
What episode?
All 15. You see, this is what I want to speak to you about, Archie.
What?
Well, frankly, the show what I'm talking about is a little skimpy. So, I'm wondering, is it possible that you could get me the Lone Ranger to make a personal appearance in the Tivoli?
Can I get him? Anything I ask him, he'll do.
Yeah?
Him and me is pards.
What?
Pards. The Western time, it means we're very close, like two peas in a pod.
Well, that's fine. Look, please tell them that it's a great theater. And be sure and tell them our slogan. The best shows of all move to Tivoli Hall. And Archie, my boy, you know that Sammy Weisbord is nothing for nothing. You bring me the Lone Ranger, and I'll give you a free season pass. It's a deal. Goodbye, Archie.
So long, Mr. Whitewood. Oh, boy, a free season pass. Folks, our male singing chanteuse, Mr. Clark Dennis. Mr. Dennis will sing, I'm getting tired so I can sleep. Don't take it as no hint.
I'm getting tired so I can sleep. I want to sleep so I can dream. I want to dream so I can be with you. I've got your picture by my bed. 'Twill soon be placed beneath my head to keep me company the whole night through. For a little while, whatever befalls, I will see you smile till reveille calls. I hope you're tired enough to dream, and please sleep long enough to dream. And look for me, for I'll be dreaming too. For a little while, whatever befalls, I will see you smile till reveille calls. I hope you're tired enough to sleep, and please sleep long enough to dream, and look for me, for I'll be dreaming too.
Hey, Art.
What is it, Finnegan?
Hey, look, don't mind if my kid brother Wilford comes down here tonight.
Your brother Wilford, that's the short, fat, ugly one, ain't it?
Don't know. The short, fat, ugly one is my sister. You remember my brother Wilford? He's the one with the brains.
Oh, the black sheep of the family. Yeah, sure. Leave him come down here, Finnegan.
Say, Archie.
Huh?
I think I can help you get the Lone Ranger over to the Tivoli. I'll flatter him.
How, Miss Duffy?
With flattery. I'll tell him he's handsome and that I'd even be happy to arrange a double date for us.
A double date? Who'd be the other couple?
Katrinka Yarbucks and Tonto.
Katrinka Yarbucks, Miss Duffy, we swindled the Indians enough over the Manhattan Island deal. Listen, you forget the Lone Ranger. I'll handle this deal myself.
Announcing the arrival of the Lone Ranger.
Good evening, Archie.
Good evening, Mr. Lone Ranger.
Well, now, wait a minute, Archie. Why the mister? Let's be informal.
Informal? Okay, whatever you say, Lone. How was things out in the White and Woolly West? Are you having much trouble rustling them cattle?
Well, no more than usual.
Them cattle hustlers must be pretty tough sombreros, huh?
Sombreros. You sound like a real Westerner, Archie. Ever been out there?
Been out there? I was raised and born just a stone's throw from that Branch Canyon. Yes, sir. Many's a day me and me Pinto would rent a couple of Broncos, you know. Go horseback riding together.
Oh, you ride, Archie?
How do you think me legs got this shape? From ducking under subway turnstiles? But enough of this idle bantam. I'd like to ask you a favor, Lone.
What is it, Archie?
Would you help me out by making a personal appearance at the Tivoli Theater?
Well, I don't know, Archie. I've been working pretty hard lately.
Working hard. What does hard work mean to a guy like you? Guy with them muscles of sinew. Plenty of good red corpuscles. Lots of that husky stamina, you know.
Well, I may have good red corpuscles, but I'm here on vacation.
But Lone, this is for me. Archie, your pard. Your old saddle mate.
Sorry, Pard. I'm afraid I've got to let you down.
Lone, Miss Duffy.
Yeah?
Miss Duffy, you got to help me out with this guy. Start turning on a charm.
You think he'd go for me?
Certainly. Lone, I want you to meet the daughter of the establishment there.
Oh, so this is Miss Duffy.
Likewise, I'm sure. Oh, Mr. Ranger, you're so wonderful. See, I'll never forget the time I saw one of your movies with my boyfriend, Breckenridge Hartzenfelder. Every time you put your arms around your horse, Breckenridge did the same with me. And when your horse put his soft nose up against your cheek, I did likewise with Breckenridge. Oh, you'll go over big at the Tivoli, Mr. Ranger. And you'll be a good influence on some of them bums that hang out there.
Bums?
Please, Miss Duffy, they are not bums. They're just nervous. Now, Lone, don't leave Miss Duffy give you the idea that the Tivoli is a joint.
Oh, no, it's a high-class place. They charge a dime for adults.
Adults? Well, frankly, my friends are the youngsters.
The youngsters, huh? That ought to do it. Hey, Finnegan, did your kid brother Wilfred get here yet?
Yes, I've arrived.
Oh. Lone, now here's one of the kids who's going to be at the Tivoli tonight. You wouldn't want to disappoint him. Wilfred, come here. Lone, say hello to little Wilfred.
Son, I'm mighty glad to make your acquaintance. Mighty glad. Wilfred, how would you like to ride the range with me on your own little pony, with a trusty shooting iron at your side, rounding up a hustling, bustling, rootin', tootin' gang of outlaws?
Archie, is this guy kidding?
Lone, don't pay no attention. The kid's excited, you know. He don't know what he's saying. Do you, Wilfred?
I am perfectly aware of what I am saying.
Now, just a second, son.
Archie, who is this Denver Uncle Don?
Wilfred, this Denver Uncle Don happens to be none other than the Lone Ranger himself. You've heard the Lone Ranger on the radio, Wilfred?
Unfortunately, yes.
What do you mean, Wilfred?
Archie, it's ridiculous. One might almost be tempted to say that one could enjoy this character, only if one were exceedingly juvenile.
How would one like a nice smack in one's foot?
Now, look here, son. I've been on the radio for quite some time now. I made thousands of friends. Tell me, man to man, wouldn't you like to become a member of the Lone Ranger Club?
I'd rather cut my throat.
Here's a piece of broken glass. Anyways, kid, they wouldn't let a brat like you into the Lone Rangers Club.
Just a minute, Archie. Son, your attitude puzzles me. As a Lone Ranger, I try to represent the best elements of sportsmanship, fair play, and adventure.
Look, Cactus Charlie. When I came in here, I didn't know you, did I?
No?
You didn't know me either, did you?
No?
Let's keep it that way.
Here goes me pass to the movies. Wilfred, come with me a minute.
Where are you going, Archie?
I'm going to take Wilfred for a little walk in the cellar. I'm going to show him where we keep the pickled pig's feet.
Yeah, but, Archie, the cellar is damp. Wilfred's liable to catch a cold.
Oh, won't that be too bad? Come along, Wilfred. Take off your shoes for Uncle Archie. Do?
No luck, Archie?
No, the Lone Ranger's going to be leaving any minute. He ain't going to the Tivoli. There's no pass for me.
Archie, there's one thing we ain't tried.
What?
Western songs. I put S-I-N-G.
Miss Duffy, I have heard you S-I-N-G, and at S-T-I-N... forget it. But, I guess after Finnegan's brother, Little Wilfred, anything will probably sound good to the guy. Lone, do you like Western songs?
I love them.
I love them, too. You know, Mr. Ranger, there's something about a Western song that reminds you of the West.
Go ahead and sing one, Miss Duffy. Lone, you ain't lived until you've heard this dame sing.
We'll ride the trail together. Oh, faithful in every kind of weather. When your roundup days are over, there'll be pastures white with clover for you. Oh, faithful pal of
Tell me, what did you think of it, Lone?
Well, Archie, you said I haven't lived till I've heard her.
Yeah?
Well, do you think life is so important?
Mr. Archie, Mr. Wisebird coming across the street.
Oh, the theater guy. Look, Lone, if you don't want to make this personal appearance yourself, would you mind if I got a guy to imitate you?
Well, not at all, Archie. I get a kick out of it.
Oh, thanks. Hey, Finnegan, come here. Finnegan, you are the new Lone Ranger. Now, quick, put a mask on, Finnegan.
Help him help the West.
Well, Hutchins, is the Lone Ranger here?
Yep, Sam, I have swung the deal for you.
Ah, that's great. Where is he?
Right over there. Hey, Lone Ranger. Lone Ranger. Lone Ranger, say hello to Mr. Weisbord.
Hi-ho, Weisbord.
Hi-ho to you, too. This is certainly a thrill. The Lone Ranger.
That's a thrill for me, too. The manager of the Tivoli.
What's that?
Hey, Sam, he means he probably heard of you in Hollywood.
Oh, well, this is a possibility. Yes. Lone Ranger, tell me, as one picture man to the other one, how did you first get into the picture?
I sneaked in.
The Lone Ranger's talking about them sneak previews, you know.
Oh, yeah, I see. Well, tell me, my boy, how do you like Hollywood?
Hollywood? Oh, I'm nuts about it. Boy, what terrific dames. Oh.
Dames? Please, Lone Ranger.
What dames? God, they're all nuts about me. Oh.
Pardon me, Lone Ranger. I thought you lived a quiet life and was adorable just by children.
Me? I hate kids. I'm just nuts about dames. Oh, boy.
Lone Ranger, please.
Just a second, Archie. This can't go on. I've got a career to think of.
Please, buddy, don't interrupt. We are talking.
But I'm the Lone Ranger.
Okay, I'm Clark Gable. All right, now go away. Leave us alone. Now, Ranger, as I was saying...
But I tell you, I'm really the Lone Ranger.
Would you please to go away?
You don't believe me? Listen to this. I'll Silver!
Please, for heaven's sake, I got a headache. It's bad enough I've been hearing it all day in the edge of the Silver. Now, please, beat it. Will you play? Archie, who is this guy?
Oh, some guy that walked in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people imitate me.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Finnegan.
They are.
Your mother wants you on the phone.
What is this? He in the Lone Ranger? And this other guy in the Lone Ranger.
What's the difference with the mask on? Nobody knows what the Lone Ranger looks like anyhow.
Wait a second. Nobody knows what he looks like? Give me that mask.
Sam.
Yeah?
What are you going to do?
Archie, shake hands with the new Lone Ranger. Hi-ho, Silver! Hi-ho, Silver!
Well, Lone, pass or no pass? It was so all nice of you to come down here.
Well, I had a good time, Archie. Oh, by the way, what did you do with little Wilfred Finnegan?
Oh, Wilfred. I got him tied up in the cellar.
But, Archie, that isn't nice. A cold, dark cellar. I think we ought to untie him.
Yeah, maybe you're right. If we get a chance next Saturday or Sunday, we'll do that. So long, Lone.
Now, before we leave Duffy's Tavern, Levis put a couple of nickels in Duffy's jukebox. Duffy's jukebox, where the feet meet the beat. Well, the platter's spinning, the needle's in the groove, and here's the first number coming up. Duffy's Tavern was rebroadcast especially for you men and women in the armed forces of the United Nations by the Special Service Division of the War Department of the United States of America.
The engine scream you will now hear is a Vampire jet of the RNZAF passing close overhead at a ground speed of 560 miles an hour.
To many young men, it is the height of their ambition to pilot such an aircraft as the Vampire jet, or to act as pilots or navigators of other modern types of aircraft, such as the four-engine Hastings or twin-engine Devon.
And it is an ambition that they are realizing today. If you are fit and between 17 and a half and 25 years of age, you may apply to join them in their conquest of the air.
Young men are now required for training as officers in the flying branch of the Royal New Zealand Air Force and as officer pilots in the RAF. Selection is competitive and calls for a high degree of character and ability. But for the right type of young man, it offers a future built on a tradition of service you can be proud to follow.
If you are ambitious, apply now for details of commissioned service as a navigator or pilot in the RNZAF or the RAF. Write today, addressing letters to the Air Secretary, Air Department, Wellington.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. The famous Masked Rider of Justice brings us another exciting story of the Old West tonight. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. And once again we hear the inspiring cry,
Hi-Yo Silver!
The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, old boy! Tonto's waiting for us in the cafe near Abilene. We must hurry, old fellow. Hi-Yo Silver! Hurry!
Over a period of time, many high-bred horses had disappeared from ranches in the neighborhood of Abilene. No one had been able to trace them nor to discover the thieves. At last, Cal Cummings, most prominent of the ranchers, directed the sheriff to ask the help of the Texas Rangers. A letter was written and addressed to Ranger headquarters and entrusted to the care of one of the townspeople of Abilene for delivery. The first scene of tonight's Lone Ranger drama opens outside a small cafe on the outskirts of Abilene.
Zeke Skinner had been spending his money too freely for drink. And as the evening progressed, he talked more than was wise. His careless conversation was overheard, and when he staggered from the cafe, he was halted by the threat of a heavy gun and the stern voice of the Lone Ranger.
Stand where you are, Skinner.
Well, what's this mean?
Go through his pockets, Tonto, and find that paper he was talking about this evening.
Me get him. See here, mister. You can't do this to me.
You'll see what we can do.
But, mister, I ain't got nothing for you to steal.
And to go back to Abilene, didn't you?
Oh, boy. Can't a man just talk?
Did you find the paper, Tonto?
Me got paper here.
Let me see it.
That's my property. You can't...
This is what we want, Tonto. Hip. Get to the saddle.
Me ready.
Hey! Now for Abilene. Hail, Silver!
One evening, several days after the masked man took the paper from Zeke Skinner, Cal Cummings stood at the Abilene bar with the sheriff. Their conversation is about the theft of horses in the neighborhood. Cummings is speaking.
Tell you, Sheriff, there just ain't no way to account for this horse thief that's been working around here.
It's got me beat, Cal. That's why I was willing to send for Rangers. I know when I'm against something I can't savvy.
Oh, you're a smart hombre, Sheriff. I reckon you savvy that men in my position won't tolerate the loss of high-bred horses for very long.
Don't get wrong notions, Cummings. I ain't sent for the Rangers just because you ordered me to.
No?
I done it simply because I can't locate the horse thieves myself. And I hate horse thieves worse than killers. I'll see the rats hung if I have to send for the whole blamed army.
You reckon, Sheriff, I'll change my mind about buying a drink. I figured me and you understood each other.
I buy my own drinks. Then I don't owe nothing to no one.
Well, I'll join my tap hand over yonder. Someday, Steve, I'll take some of that high-handed way out of that, Sheriff.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cummins.
How are things fixed for tonight?
All set. The boys have got that big white horse spotted at the hitch rack again.
Good. Found the man that owns him yet?
No, but it's true that he goes masked. He's a hard man to locate, though.
Well, he must be close by if the horse is here. What about the other horse?
A redskin owns it. He's the masked man's partner.
Darn curious they hitch the horses outside and then don't show up nowheres.
Yeah, that makes stealing the big horse risky. You don't know where they'll come from.
Everything is set, though, ain't it?
Yeah, if only the plans work out. We'll get the high sign in a few moments.
In spite of the way Cummings had spoken to the sheriff, he himself was the leader of the thieves. Silver, the Lone Ranger's horse, seemed to him a splendid prize, and Cummings' men were given orders to steal it. Silver put up a terrific battle as the crooks dragged him from the hitch rack. The masked man and Tonto were at the rear of the cafe watching Cal Cummings when they heard the commotion at the front.
Tonto, that's Silver.
What matter?
Come on, we'll see what's going on out front. They're taking Silver away.
You take white feller. Go get him, thief.
If only I could shoot to kill.
And there, other horse near, white feller.
I'll take your horse. You take the other. We'll get after those thieves. Silver will fight those crooks every step of the way.
Eddie, feller.
I'll
All
take
right, stranger. Hoist him.
We got you covered. Put down those guns. My horse is stolen.
Keep your hands high or we shoot.
Don't take no risks, mister. We're Texas Rangers. You?
That's right. We're here to get the horse thieves. And it looks like we got 'em.
What's going on here?
What's all the noise?
Them's the Texas Rangers. We seen this masked hombre and Injun taking horses. And the Injun said to mount one with a CC brand.
Well, that's my horse.
My own horse has been stolen. We were borrowing a horse to get after the thieves.
Tell that to the jury.
We got 'em covered.
Gosh, it don't take you gents long to make an arrest.
Oh, you're the sheriff, huh?
Yep, my jail's at your disposal.
We figured something funny when we seen a masked man coming this way on the run. If you were here, you saw thieves make off with my horse.
That's a likely story.
I'll help you lock 'em up. Maybe they'll tell where the other mounts is hid.
Gahula. Yes, Tonto.
What's that?
Olal Tulag. Chu Talu. That's all we can do, Kimosabe. Hey, cut that chatter and engine. You're under arrest. The only reason I don't draw and shoot is because one of you would have to die. But there's another way.
You're under arrest.
Now, Tonto.
Now you got him.
Go.
Lost him.
Come on, right fellow.
He got loose. Shoot him.
Get this rich kid off of me. He got us off guard. Get your gun.
Too dark to see him. Get this engine off me. There. I got the engine. Well, I got him anyhow. You got me. That all right.
You'll pay for this. Thought you was slick to jump us and spill the lot of us.
You let the masked man get away.
Now take it easy. We'll corral him later on. The main thing is we got one of the horse thieves. We ought to drill him on the spot.
No, don't do that. Take him to jail and make him tell all he knows. Keep him there till he gets hung.
The Lone Ranger had made his escape for two reasons. He knew that as long as he was held in jail, he could not recover silver. And once captured, the mask that concealed his identity would be taken from his face. While Tonto kept the sheriff, Cummings, and the other two men busy, the masked man fled on Tonto's horse. Some hours later that same night, we find the two men, Ben and Dave, in Cal Cummings' ranch house. We hear Ben speaking.
Me and Dave hung around town for a while, Cummings. Then we come out here.
Yeah, it was Ben's idea to see what the talk in town was.
What is the talk?
Well, everyone's convinced the Injun is a horse thief.
It was sure lucky break for us, catching him hands down like that.
Trying to steal my horse.
That was done on purpose. The boys left that one of yours where they got the big whiting from, figuring the masked man would ride it. It didn't happen like we figured.
But it worked out all right.
Cal, it was sure a slick scheme, making everyone, including the sheriff, think we was Texas Rangers.
We got you boys here without rousing suspicion.
It sure did.
Now you'll be able to do a lot for us.
Just watch us.
Wonder what the sheriff'd say if he knowed about his letter to the governor asking for Texas Rangers.
Well, what did you do with it?
I give Zeke his orders on it and paid him off.
Think he's likely to come back?
No, not him. Now then, boys, let's get down to some planning.
Well?
I got a half a dozen other horses lined up to take.
All good uns?
The finest.
Just give us the orders, that's all.
I got an idea to make folks more than ever sure the Injun and his pard are horse thieves.
Yeah?
And get us horse flesh into the bargain.
Oh, let's hear it, Cal.
The Injun has got to make his escape.
I don't hanker to see that happen.
When he busts loose, he takes a lot of horses with him.
Oh, it might be fixed to look like that party is where the mask busted him out.
That's it.
Wonder where he went to, anyway.
Oh, he'll be a long ways from here by this time. Reckon he's still riding. Now, we gotta make dead sure of one thing.
What's that?
That the Injun travels when he gets loose.
Any reason why he wouldn't travel?
I don't take chances, boys.
Well?
We gotta start lynch talk.
Lynch him?
Is that what you mean? That wouldn't work out for your plan. You can't lynch him.
Oh, he won't get lynched. We'll get a mob riled, though. Then when he gets out, he'll travel fast.
I don't expect the sheriff will take to lynching.
Well, I'll have one of the boys keep him in tow a ways from the jail. Steve can rile the lynch mob.
That sounds like a good scheme, eh?
Hey, Cummins.
Now, Steve.
That white horse is a devil on 4 legs. I can't handle the critter at all.
Where's he at?
The stable. It was all quiet and calm. Then all of a sudden...
Well?
Gosh, I wish you'd seen it. Them ears poked forward and the head come up, and then it started in raising particular Ned. Biting, pawing, kicking, I don't know what now.
Gosh, it's a powerful critter.
That ain't all. I seen them shoes it's wearing, and, boss, I never seen none like them before.
How's that?
I'd stake my life on it. They're solid silver.
Silver? Wait. Leaping buzzards. Silver shod horse. Pure white.
Strong as a dozen horses. Listen, I'll open the door.
Yeah? Shut up, Steve. Don't you savvy it? If that horse is what I think, we got the most famous horse in the world.
How's that?
You never hear tell of Silver?
Silver?
You mean the owner is mad?
The Lone Ranger, that's what. Listen to that critter kick and howl.
Listen here. If that's the Lone Ranger, he wouldn't ride away from here. He wouldn't leave that horse.
The horse was quiet till a while back, then he started in.
And that means its master's around here somewheres. Get all the boys out. Have them scour this ranch for the masked man.
I'll go get him.
Throw a guard around the stable.
I will.
Give orders if that man's seen to shoot him on sight.
Come on.
You too, Dave.
Right.
The chance of a lifetime. Boys, we got the famous Silver and never knowed it. We're going to do big things with him.
The curtain falls on the first act of tonight's Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. You will recall that in the first act of tonight's Lone Ranger drama, Cal Cummings, leader of the thieves who had been stealing horses in the Abilene district, ordered the theft of Silver, the great white horse belonging to the masked man. When the Lone Ranger borrowed another horse to pursue the crooks, he and Tonto were arrested by the sheriff and two men posing as Texas Rangers. The mystery rider escaped, however, and made his way to the Cummings ranch, where Silver, sensing his presence, whinnied loudly. Our next scene reveals Cummings and the two false Texas Rangers seated in their saddles, watching the stable that holds Silver.
Horse is quiet now. Reckon the masked man ain't been here after all.
Drat the luck. I hope to get a shot at him.
So do I.
Just as well. If he had been here, he might have heard our plans. And that had spoiled everything.
Yeah. But he wouldn't have had the chance to, Cal, if we'd have got him.
You might have, and you might not. I'm as well satisfied if he's kept aboard the Redskins' horse and hightailed it away from these parts.
What are we going to do? Stay on guard in the saddle all night?
I'll get the boys together and we'll take turns.
Well, me and Dave have had a hard day, Cal. It's a long trip from where we sold them other horses to here.
You boys can sleep. You got a busy day tomorrow. I'll see if the stable's guarded.
Tomorrow we gotta pose as Rangers, and then at night we gotta bust the engine out of jail. Then take another lot of horses with us when we leave here to hunt the horse thieves.
The following day, the Lone Ranger removed his mask and cleverly disguised himself to look like a rancher. Then he entered the sheriff's office, behind which was the town's one-room jail, where Tonto was held. The sheriff, seated at his desk, looked up at the Lone Ranger's approach.
You're a stranger around here, mister. Where are you from?
You have a prisoner here, Sheriff.
Yeah, an Indian horse thief.
I'd like to have a look at him.
For what?
I think he might be a man I saw near the Box K spread.
Has the Box K lost horses, too?
Hadn't you heard?
No. The Box K is out in my county. I'll go on back. That door at the rear is a door to the jail room. You can speak to the prisoner between the bars.
After I've talked to him, I'll be able to tell you whether or not he's the man we suspect.
It don't matter anyhow. He's sure to hang as soon as he gets tried in court.
I'll speak to him.
Kimosabe.
Me know you come.
Tonto, I've learned the entire plan. We weren't sure of our facts until last night, when those men who called themselves Texas Rangers pulled their guns to cover us.
Texas Ranger not do that.
No, they don't draw their guns until it's time to fire. After I left you, Tonto, I went to the Cummings ranch.
You hear things there?
Yes. Silver knew I was there, too. He kicked up quite a fuss.
Feller think you there?
Yes, they did. I had to leave Silver. If I'd taken him, the horse thieves would have known I'd overheard their plans, and they would have changed them. As it stands now, they'll go through with their idea, and it'll give us a chance to prove to everyone that they're crooks.
Hey, you there. You from the Box K.
Yes?
It's taken you a long time to find out what you want to know.
I'm nearly through, Sheriff.
Well, hurry it up.
I'll try to get Silver after the men have left the Cummings ranch tonight, Tonto. Then I'll come back here. Meantime, 2 men will come to let you out of jail.
What Tonto do?
Take this gun, hide it in your shirt, and listen carefully to what I tell you.
Cummings and his scheming companions left the ranch that night, planning to rouse the townspeople against Tonto. As they disappeared from sight, the masked man, silent as a shadow, raced across the open plain to the stable. A moment later, a thunder of hoofs, and Silver, with the Lone Ranger in the saddle, sped into the night. Meanwhile, Cummings, Dave, and Ben took cover behind a dark row of buildings near the jail. Their Confederate Steve was busily playing his part to excite the mob against Tonto. Cummings is giving directions to the 2 men beside him.
Now remember, boys, as soon as we let the redskin out, we get back to my place. Then you 2 will have to take them horses we picked up tonight and start 'em moving out of these parts.
We'll take him to the same place as the others.
Yeah, and sell 'em fast. Get back here with the cash.
Leave it to us, Colonel.
I am.
I just wish we could take that white horse along.
Well, you can't. He's too hard to handle.
He'd fetch a good price.
I'll leave the critter with me till the next time. Maybe I'll have him broke by then.
Ain't it time something happened?
Yeah. I figured Steve would have started the lynch talk by this time.
What do you say, men?
Starting now.
Good.
What kind of hombres are we that let that critter stand trial and likely not get found guilty?
You know me, boys. I ain't for lynching a man no more than you are.
Maybe we better let the law take its course.
That's all right in most cases, but now I think we don't
like lynching a man.
A horse thief ain't a man. Look at what that critter's done. Sam, you lost 2 fine horses.
Yeah.
Pete lost 1. What are you going to do about it? Sit back and do nothing? I say we should take the law in our own hands and string the redskin up.
Yes, he's right.
You know what'll happen if we don't? He'll go on trial and say he don't know nothing about the horse stealing.
He'd be found guilty, though. We got evidence.
What sort of evidence you got?
He was catched by Texas Ranger stealing Cal Cummings' horse.
Cal's got his horse back now, ain't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Sure he has. Cal's got his horse back, and the Injun can say he'd never seen it. Who's there to prove he did? You can't get them Texas Rangers to testify in court. They don't do business that way.
You may be right after all. It'd be a disgrace to the town if the redskin horse thief was to be let go free.
That's just it. If he's going to be strung up, he'll tell us where the rest of the stolen horses are hid.
It's a chance to get our horses back. Maybe he will talk at that.
Most likely he'll tell where his part's at. I tell you, boys, it's worth trying. Yeah. Now, what do you say? We get on this. That's the way I feel about the thing.
He's working them along in great shape, ain't he, boys?
That bunch is all set to start out any minute now.
We'd better be set ourselves. Let's get on our horses.
As soon as they start moving to the jail, you boys get on the jump.
What about the sheriff?
I locate him and stay with him.
Come on, boys. We'll take the jail by storm. Who's got a rope? That's it. Bring it up.
mob of townspeople, raised to a pitch of fury by Steve's speeches, headed for the jail. Cummings left to find the sheriff and keep him from interfering. At the same time, Dave and Ben rode swiftly to the rear of the jail to play their part in the plot engineered by their leader.
Here we are, Dave. I think we can get this back door open as easy as the front. Sure thing. It was a good stunt planning that lynching. Of course. It's the only way we can make sure the Injun be able to run for his life. He's innocent and he knows it. Might be willing to stand trial. Wait a minute. Hey, you redskin, you in there. What you want? Listen, we're getting this door open, savvy? We don't want you to get strung up. Hey, let me get this bar. Get in the lock. I'll pry it open. Who you, fella? You know us, Injun. We're the men that put you here. Texas Ranger. That's who we are.
We put you here for trial, Injun, not to get lynched.
Lynch mob come this way. You hear it, don't you? And me not steal horse.
You might be able to prove that in a court, but you can't convince a lynch mob of it.
What you do now? Stand back, Redskin. I'll fix that lock. Hand me that crowbar, Dave.
Here. We got a horse waiting for you right over yonder. Get aboard it and travel fast.
You let me go away? You don't let no man face a lynch mob. Me not go.
What are you talking about, you crazy galoot? Don't you hear the men coming here to string you up?
Me hear them. Then get moving. You're free now. Run.
Not so fast.
What the Sam you?
The masked man.
You coming? Me got him gun too.
What? Get into that jail. You, both of you.
Me show you.
The mob's at the other door right now.
You can't do this. We're Texas Rangers.
Boys, you can't leave the red.
Stand aside there. We aim to get that red. No, you can't. Come on.
Boys, don't do it. If he's guilty, he'll hang leave.
Now you got it. Grab the red twig.
It's us, listen.
The two Rangers. What are you doing in there?
Get them two behind us.
A masked man. That's the engine with him. They busted the other door.
Stand back. Get back here, all of you. If there's a man among you dares draw a gun now, let him try it.
I'll shoot it. Ow!
I'll shoot the gun from anybody else who tries that.
My hand!
There's your horse thief, boys. Get him.
Wait. I'll show you the real horse thief.
I don't savvy this. I'd like
Be quiet.
to know.
There are horse thieves here, and you'll have them in just a moment. Sheriff, these two men are no more Texas Rangers than you are.
What's that?
They're two of the thieves who've been working around here.
He lies.
Sure he does. Those are the men who have been taking the horses from the Cummings ranch and selling them.
Where's Cal Cummings?
There he is, trying to get away. Come back here, Cummings.
Through here. Come on, Cal. We'll see if the man with them guns is telling the true facts. Maybe these are the critters that's been taking horses from your spread after all.
Not Cal Cummings' horses. They take the horses which Cummings and Steve and other C.C. Waddies have been stealing from all of you. Those animals go first to Cummings' place.
That ain't true.
Wait a minute. Cummings, you persuaded the sheriff to send for Texas Rangers, didn't you?
Well,
You gotta admit that much, Cal.
Yes, I did. And they come here and found you and that redskin.
No Texas Rangers came here because you paid the man who was supposed to take the sheriff's letter to stay away from here and not deliver the letter.
That ain't so. You can't prove no such charge.
You did that so you could bring in those two friends of yours and have them pose as Rangers to frame someone in town for horse stealing. Then you intended to start a lynch mob. Steve did that.
Was Steve the start of the talk all right enough?
Then your two fake Texas Rangers were to let the prisoner escape. You planned to have him suspected of stealing a lot more horses.
Boys, this all just talk. You can't let a masked man and a redskin hold a lot of you at bay with 6 guns. Rush 'em.
Rush 'em yourself if you've a mind to.
Keep talking, stranger. You got any proof of what you say?
I have the letter you wrote, Sheriff.
To the Texas Rangers?
Here it is. It was never delivered. You can find Zeke Skinner if you want to. He'll tell you how much Cal Cummings paid him and how he lost it in a gambling place on the outskirts of Abilene.
There ain't a word of truth in what he says. By thunder, he talks a straight story.
Is the letter genuine, Sheriff?
This is the letter I wrote, all right enough.
Why'd you men rush these two?
That's it. Don't let them talk you out of doing justice, boys.
Maybe they're talking us into doing justice.
You want more proof?
You got more proof, stranger?
Go to Cummings' place right now. You'll find the horses that were taken away from here tonight. Horses stolen from you. You'll also find letters from the men who bought the stolen horses, telling Cummings to get more of the same kind.
By thunder, all you gotta do is look at Cummings' face to know the masked man tells the truth.
Boys, wait. Listen. Don't rope me. I got a right to a trial.
You'll get a trial, all right. And so these crook parts of yours. That's more'n you wanted to give the redskin. Boys, tie him up. You two deputies stand guard till we get the jail doors fixed.
Come on, Tonto. Let's get out of here.
Now we'll get back a lot of stolen property and jail an ornery scheming pack of crooks.
Together again, Silver, old boy. Come, Tonto. We're riding. Hi-yo, Silver!
You have just heard another of the famous Lone Ranger stories featuring the Jewel Players. These exciting Western dramas originate in the studios of WXYZ Detroit and are sent to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 p.m. This is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger, Incorporated. Al Chance speaking. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
The Adventures of Mr. and Mrs. North, starring Alice Frost and Joseph Curtin, and brought to you by
Woodbury, 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 for the skin you love to touch.
Jerry and Pamela North often drive Bill Wygand to the verge of insanity. However, for all their bewildering antics, they often help him, too. And at times he even goes so far as to ask them for advice. Tonight is such a time, because he's faced with a dizzy situation. Now, as Bill seats himself in the North's living room, Jerry says to him,
All right, Bill. Now, what's this great problem that's puzzling you?
It's a case that I'm working on.
I know. Somebody crept to the window and shot him in the middle of his dinner.
What?
Yes, I read about it in the paper. He was dining alone.
Who was?
Walter Middleton, of course, dear. Mrs. Middleton's been dead for years, and the son and daughter were out, so he was alone. The butler heard the shot and ran into the dining room, but Mr. Middleton was already dead. It's been on all the front pages.
Oh, I only read the funnies.
He was rich as anything, so there's the motive. Cigarette, Bill?
No, thanks.
The son and daughter are the most obvious suspects, so that lets them out. How about some candy, Bill?
No, not just now. Why does it let them out?
That's too obvious. Fruit?
No, thanks.
Nuts?
Yeah, I'm beginning to think so.
Bill, is this Middleton case what you wanted to ask us about?
Yeah, it has a screwy angle. I thought it would be just up the North Alley. You see, we have two confessions.
You mean two people have confessed to the same murder?
That's right, and each claims he worked alone.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what I said. And since sense doesn't work in this case, I thought intuition might. How about it, Pam?
Have to have something to go on. Who are these people who confessed, Bill? Not the son and daughter?
No, they're a couple of friends of the Middletons, Larry Chapman and George Warwood.
Oh, can I meet them?
Sure, we're holding them at headquarters.
Well, let's go.
All right.
I wonder what's in back of it, Jerry.
I know. They heard confessions good for the soul.
The dining room window was open, so I just pointed the gun through it and fired.
That's impossible, Larry.
Why?
Because I did.
Here we go again.
Look, Lieutenant, doesn't priority count around here? I confessed first.
But you're lying.
May I ask a question?
Go right to it, then.
Why did you gentlemen kill Mr. Middleton?
Well,
it's just that
it's like this.
Well,
that is...
what I was going to say is that...
Hold it. Now, you, Warwick, why did you shoot Middleton?
Well, sir,
I owed him some money and I couldn't pay him, so I killed him.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
You mean I put them in your mouth? Never even thought of it.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what anyone says. I killed Walter Middleton. I hope to die if I didn't.
It's the other way around, George.
This isn't getting us anywhere.
Well, why don't we toss a coin? Winner gets the electric chair.
Wait a minute, Jim. Now, look. If either of you shot Mr. Middleton, you had to have a gun. All right. Tell us where the gun is, and we'll see if it's bullet.
I threw the gun away.
So did I. I mean, that's what I did. I demand you hold me for murder.
You ought to hold him for plagiarism instead.
Where did you throw away the gun?
Who, me?
Either of you, both of you.
I don't remember.
I wrapped the gun in some old newspaper and threw it in some bushes.
What bushes?
That's what I don't remember.
Well, Pam, you're doing fine. Have any hunches yet?
I have a hunch they're both lying.
That's no hunch. It's a logical conclusion based on observation of the facts.
You must believe me. I tell you, I killed Walter Middleton.
With your little hatchet, yeah, we know.
Now, look. Don't either of you fellas want to change your stories?
No. I killed Walter Middleton.
He didn't. I did.
Okay.
Here comes.
Oh, yes, he has David Middleton with him.
Hello, Lieutenant Wagon.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Nolan.
Hello.
Lieutenant, I don't know how you're going to like this. Maybe it's good and maybe it ain't.
All right, what's up?
Well, you sent me to question young Middleton here and check up on his whereabouts on the night of the murder, so I did.
Yes?
Well, what do you think he tells me? He says he killed his father.
Oh, that's swell. He what?
Yeah. He wants to confess.
Bill, it looks like you've hit the jackpot.
Well, I took your advice, Pam, and released our three murderers.
But what if it turns out that one of them's telling the truth?
Yeah, we can always pick them up again. We certainly have nothing on either one of them as yet.
Besides, if one of them is guilty, this is a better way to trap him. Give him enough rope.
But, darling, you know what some people do with rope.
What?
Skip.
Oh, we'll have to work fast before he has a chance.
Do you have any plans?
I'd like to talk to Helen Middleton. Maybe she can tell us something.
Okay. But if she tells us that she's the one who killed her father, there'll be a second murder. And I'll commit it.
After all, Larry and George are both very dear friends of mine, and David is my brother. You can't expect me to say anything against them.
But if one of them killed your father...
Oh, none of them did. I'm sure.
Why?
Well, I just know it.
Well, then, perhaps you can tell us something to help clear them. They're all under suspicion.
But I don't know what to say. I've told the police all I know, and I've tried to answer your questions.
But unfortunately, it hasn't helped us much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can't think of any reason why they should all confess?
No.
Well, we won't keep you any longer, Miss Middleton.
Thank you. I hope you'll pardon me if I don't show you out, but I'm so terribly tired, and I don't want to go downstairs again.
Oh, that's quite all right. Goodbye.
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 Well, Pam, what do you think?
You forget, Jerry, I'm not supposed to think. I'm supposed to feel. You know, intuition.
Well, then, what do you feel?
Bewildered. I don't understand. Oh!
I'm sorry, madam. I didn't mean to alarm you.
You ought to give more warning when you pop out of nowhere.
Not nowhere, madam. I was concealed in this archway.
Eavesdropping on our conversation with Miss Middleton, huh?
If you wish to call it that, I call it detecting.
Are you a detective?
Unofficially, like yourselves. Officially, I'm the Middleton's butler.
Oh. Oh, you're the one who discovered the body.
Yes, madam.
Perhaps you can tell us something.
I can tell you a great deal. I'm a profound student of crime. Oh, fascinating subject.
Yes.
I'll tell you this. You're on the right track. It's not suicide. It's murder.
Well, of course it is. Nobody suggested it wasn't.
After all, there was no gun near the body.
How do you know?
Well,
How do you know I didn't find a gun and hide it to make it look like murder?
But there's no earthly reason why you should.
Jumping to conclusions. First rule of a good detective. Never jump to conclusions.
But you just said yourself that it was murder.
True. As a matter of fact, there was no gun. But you shouldn't take my word for it. Why are you looking at me like that? Perhaps you think I killed Mr. Middleton. Good. Very good. Never overlook anything. First rule of a good detective.
I thought you just said that the first rule was never...
very good. However, you're wrong. I couldn't have done it.
Why?
The butler never does it. Not anymore. That went out with the bustle. But I'll give you a clue if you want it.
What?
In the back of the house. A little bungalow. Young David Middleton's.
What about it?
No one is allowed in it but the young master himself. The windows are all blacked out. My wife does the cleaning here in the main house, but even she's not allowed in there. Nobody is. Doesn't that strike you as significant?
Certainly does.
What mysteries does that studio contain? One time I tried to find out, but young David caught me. He was very angry.
Haven't you any idea what he keeps there?
No, but I'm sure it must be important. If you want the key to the mystery, find out the secret of studio.
Okay, thanks for telling us. Come on, Pam.
All right. Goodbye, Mr. Butler.
Goodbye.
Well, Jerry, let's go and see if we can get in the studio.
Oh, don't be silly, Pam. That butler's slap happy.
But there might be something to that story of the studio.
Nonsense.
But suppose there is, Jerry. We shouldn't overlook anything.
First rule of a good detective.
I mean it.
Well, we'll tell Bill if he wants to investigate, he can.
I think we ought to.
But, Pam...
We're right here.
I don't think we should.
Oh, Jerry, please.
No.
Please.
No.
That must be it in the clump of trees. Nobody sees us.
You know, if young Middleton catches us at this, he'd be within his legal rights if he shot us.
Oh, I can't see that it would hurt any more than if it were illegal. I mean, if you were shot, you wouldn't care, would you, whether it was legal or not? Especially if you were dead. Let's not let him catch us, huh?
You're right. Let's not. Be careful. This moonlight's pretty bright. Stay close to the bushes.
All right.
I don't know why I let you talk me into things like this.
But you're sweet.
I think it's your baby blue eyes. They look so sad when you can't have your way. Like a calf's. Well, here we are.
Calf's eyes are brown.
Somehow that seems irrelevant. Well, now that we're here, what do we do?
Let's see if we can find some way to get in.
Thought I heard something. I guess I was wrong. Oh, no, what do you want to do?
I think I'll just try the door. Oh, Jerry! Jerry, how can you laugh? I've been shot.
You're all wet.
I'm not. I've been shot. Oh, I am, aren't I? I thought it was blood.
No, darling. You just walked into a trap. A bucket of water fell on your head.
Soaked to the skin.
What's going on here? Oh, hello, Middleton. My wife decided to take a shower.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. North. I hope you're all right.
I guess so. Only I'm cold.
Well, come on back to the house and you can warm up. I'm sorry about this, but I don't like people to go near my studio.
So we found out. You know, that's quite an effective booby trap you have there, young fellow. Isn't it, Pam? I beg your pardon?
Shoot! Jerry, stop laughing and come to bed.
I can't help it, Pam, when I think of the way you look. Like a drowned cat.
Before I was a calf.
Well, you will go snooping into other people's business.
Well, Bill asked us to help him.
I'm afraid you weren't much help.
I guess not. You know, Jerry, in spite of it all, I like that David Middleton.
Yeah, he seems to be a nice kid.
I would like to know what he's got in that studio.
Maybe he's hoarding sugar.
Oh, now what?
I'll answer, dear. Hello. Yes?
This is George Warwick.
Oh, yes.
I've been trying to get hold of Lieutenant Wygant. Do you know where he is?
No, but I think I can find him for you.
Good. If you and he come out to my house right away, I'll show you something very important.
What is it?
I've just discovered a very important clue. Now I know who killed Mr. Middleton.
Well, I thought you said you killed him.
I'll explain everything. How soon can you get here?
I don't know. As soon as I find Bill.
All right, I'll be waiting. Goodbye.
Goodbye. George Warwick. You better put your clothes on again, darling. One of our murderers has something to tell us. And this time, it's not a confession.
Well, this is it.
I wonder what he wants to show us.
Well, it better be good. I don't like coming out in the middle of the night for nothing.
I doubt that this will be as good as he promised. Somehow, I don't trust
Wait
that.
a minute, Bill. I think there's somebody standing by the corner of the house.
Yeah, you're right.
Boy, he's shooting at us.
Hey!
Gary!
Now, a brief intermission for a message of special interest to the ladies.
If you are not a user of Woodbury cold cream, I think I know why. It isn't because you believe your complexion is already flawless. Doubt if any girl has such a perfect skin she doesn't want to make it lovelier. No, the reason probably is you haven't yet been convinced that Woodbury cold cream can make a real difference in your complexion. But that just proves you haven't yet tried Woodbury cold cream. For using it once will show you how extra effective it is. You see, Woodbury cold cream isn't just another cold cream at all. It's a complete beauty cream. It actually does everything for your skin. Why not take 3 minutes tonight to see all it can do? Smooth the silky cream over your face and throat. It leaves your skin sparkling clean, glowing. Now pat on more. And this time, let a trace remain on your skin overnight. Tomorrow, well, you may scarcely believe your eyes. Your skin will have such a radiant, new, smooth look. Now, that's the famous Woodbury Beauty Nightcap. Do it every night. But don't forget, Woodbury cold cream is as grand for daytime beautifying. It leaves your skin looking lovelier. Helps your makeup have that professional finish you envied. Woodbury cold cream gives such remarkable results because of 4 specially softening, smoothing ingredients, and because of another exclusive ingredient working constantly to purify the cream in the jar in case blemish-causing germs should get in. Try this amazing, complete beauty cream. Get Woodbury cold cream tonight.
And now back to Mr. and Mrs. North. The Norths and Wygand were approaching George Warwick's house when someone began shooting at them.
Gollies, he's shooting at us.
Duck, hey!
Gary!
There he goes. He's running in back of the house. You got your gun, Jerry?
Yeah.
Good. Go around the other side. I'll go this way.
Okay.
See anything, Jerry?
Pam, you shouldn't have followed me.
Well, I wasn't going to stay back there alone.
Well, all right.
In by the back door.
Yeah, back, Pam. Who's there?
Hello, that's you, Jerry.
Bill. Yeah.
See anyone, Jerry?
No.
No, neither did I.
What do we do now?
Well, I guess we'd better go the other...
What's that?
Someone's calling for help.
It's coming from inside the house. Come on. Here's the door. It's locked. I have to break the glass. Then I can reach in and turn the knob. Look out.
Okay.
There we are.
The call's coming from upstairs.
Right, let's go.
I can't see anything.
Now, wait, I'm feeling for the light switch. Oh, here it is.
Oh, that's better.
Now, come on. Hello, where are you?
In here.
Sounded like that room there.
Right. Hello in there. The door's locked.
Break it in.
Okay, I'll shoot off the lock. Stand back, Jerry. There we are. Hey, where are you?
Over here, behind the bed.
What? Oh, it's Warwick.
His hands and feet tied. What happened, fella?
Larry knocked me down, tied my hands and feet, and ran out.
Larry Chapman, eh?
Yes. He wore a mask, but I recognized him anyway.
He must be the one who shot at us.
Probably. I heard the shots. I wondered what was happening.
Can you roll over a little so I can get to this other knot?
Yeah.
That's it. I'll have you loose in a second.
What did Chapman want, Warwick?
Well, he must have been snooping around and heard me phone you. He's probably stolen the clue.
What clue?
The gun that killed Walter Middleton.
You mean you found the gun?
That's right.
Well, there you are, all untied.
Thanks.
Now, what about this gun?
I had it locked in my desk downstairs. Perhaps he didn't find it. Come on, we'll see.
Okay.
You see, on the night of the murder, I saw Larry throw a package wrapped in newspaper in some bushes. I didn't think anything of it until today, when he mentioned wrapping the pistol in newspaper and throwing it in the bushes.
And you went back to the same spot tonight and the gun was still there?
Yes. I went back as soon as you released me. Then I went to see Helen.
Why?
I had to be sure she wasn't involved. As soon as I found out she had a perfect alibi, I phoned the North.
Oh, then you confessed before just to shield Miss Middleton.
That's right, Mrs. North.
But it wasn't necessary. Chapman had already confessed.
I know, but he was just making a play for her benefit. He's cut in enough already. Until he came along, I thought my chances with her were pretty good. Now I'm not so sure. Well, here we are. Just a second, I'll open the desk. Ah, it's still here.
Yeah, so it is. Let me see it.
Here.
Well, apparently that isn't what Chapman was after then. Maybe he just wanted a chance to shoot us.
Why would he want to kill us, Jerry?
I don't know.
Well, I can't explain it. All I know is that he knocked me down, tied me up, and then I heard him run out the door. And the next thing I knew, there was shooting.
Say, wait a minute. Let's see that.
What, the gun?
No, the paper it's wrapped in.
What is it, Jerry?
Warwick, you say you saw Chapman throw this package in the bushes on the night of the murder.
That's right.
Well, that's very strange.
Why?
Well, the murder took place a couple of days ago. But this newspaper the gun's wrapped in is today's paper.
What? Why, I don't understand.
I think I'm beginning to.
Well, there's some mistake.
I'll say there is, and you've made it.
Oh, no. You can't think that I...
Oh, can't we, though? How about that other story of yours?
Which story?
About Chapman attacking you and tying you up.
It's true, he did.
Oh, he did, huh? And then he ran out the door.
That's right.
How do you explain the fact that when we reached the door to your room, it was locked from the inside?
I don't know.
According to your story, you couldn't have locked it because you were tied up. Chapman went out through it.
Well, it must have... Oh, I don't know.
Jerry, look out. He's grabbing the gun.
Stop him, Bill. No, you don't. I've got the gun now. Stand back, all of you. That's it.
Now, look here, Warwick. You
don't
can't
move.
get away.
I'm getting out of here.
He's getting away.
Yes, darling. I'm afraid he is.
And you're sure you haven't any idea where he might go to hide out, Miss Middleton?
No, I haven't.
All right, thank you. We'll run along now. I'm sorry we had to disturb you in the middle of the night like this.
That's all right.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, no luck here. We'll have to try something else.
You know, Bill, I can't help wondering.
About what?
If he really was guilty, why did he confess?
Oh, that was clever. By seeming to protect Miss Middleton, he threw suspicion off himself.
Of course, that's it. Bill, Jerry, I just thought of something.
You think you know where he is?
I think I know where... Wait a minute.
What is it?
Look, there's a light under the door in David Middleton's studio. Come on.
Why? You don't think Warwick's there, do you?
No, but I've just got to find out what's in there.
You and your curiosity. You know what I got you before.
Oh, I'll watch out, Jerry. I know what to look for this time.
And we've got a murderer to track down.
Oh, you men. Don't you have any curiosity? Besides, it won't take any time. Come on.
All right, let's go, Bill. There'll be no living with her until she's satisfied.
Well, all right.
Oh, you're darlings, both of you.
We're saps.
Yep. I don't know why I agreed. I don't have to live with her.
Shh, Bill. We're getting close.
Too bad.
Shh. I won't touch anything this time, Jerry. I'll just stoop down and see if I can see through the keyhole.
See anything?
Yes. He's in there.
Young Middleton?
Uh-huh.
What's he doing?
Sewing.
Sewing?
Yes.
What's the idea?
I lost my balance.
Hey!
Oh, I'm sorry. I lost my balance. I fell against the door, and I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to... I didn't mean... I fell.
Doggone it, I told you to keep away from here. Oh, Mr. North, too, and the lieutenant. What do you want?
I wanted to be able to live with my wife.
Huh?
Yes, she just had to see what you have in here.
Well, now you see. I hope you're satisfied.
Dolls?
Yes, I make them. Silly, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I just like to make dolls. Sort of a hobby. There's no law against it, is there?
No, not that I've heard.
I know. I ought to fool around with shortwave radio or electric motors or something. But I'd rather make dolls. Well, what are you waiting for? Why don't you laugh?
I don't feel like it.
Look, son. Is this where you were the night of the murder?
Yes. That's why I confessed. So you'd all stop asking questions about where I was. I didn't want to have to tell about it. I was safe enough. 2 confessions before mine, and I could always tell the truth if I had to. But I hoped I wouldn't have to.
You shouldn't feel so ashamed, David. These dolls are beautiful. Why, you're an artist. Look, Jerry, all kinds of characters.
Yeah, they're absolutely perfect.
Look, every little detail exact. Some of these dolls are so tiny, and others are almost life-size.
Thanks, Mrs. North. You can have one if you like.
Oh, thank you, I would. This one, this little old man with a pipe.
Okay, he's yours.
Oh, thank you, David. Jerry, look, isn't he cute? Little wrinkled-up face. Jerry. Dolls.
What about them?
They give me an idea. I think I know how we can catch the murderer.
With dolls?
Yes, Jerry. With dolls.
You see, Miss Middleton, it was quite a scheme. By pretending to shield you, Warwick could throw suspicion off himself.
The very confession of murder would suggest he was innocent.
And then being found tied up right after we were shot at, it would again make him seem innocent of that, too. And the gun plant would throw the blame where he wanted it.
Clever.
It's too clever.
Anybody who'd work out such an elaborate scheme wouldn't make such stupid mistakes as the date on the paper and the locked door.
Besides, he's a slitherer.
A what?
A slitherer. There are two kinds of liars. Twisters and slitherers. Twisters figure out 3 or 4 twists ahead and lie accordingly, while slitherers just slide into whatever lie seems to fit at the moment. Mr. Warwick is a slitherer.
But how do you know?
At the jail, Mr. Chapman was always way ahead of Mr. Warwick. He confessed first, and he lied much better. He's a twister.
It was he who confessed to throw suspicion off himself. Warwick simply confessed out of jealousy at Chapman's getting all your gratitude.
Only a twister would have thought of that first confession.
And get this twist. Instead of framing a case against Warwick, he lets Warwick frame a case against him. A case that will fold up and make Warwick seem guilty.
You mean Larry is the murderer?
Well, sure.
But then why did George run away?
He saw so much evidence piling up against him, he was afraid we'd be able to pin the murder on him. Chapman's scheme was working.
And it was an elaborate scheme, too. Chapman planted the gun in today's paper and put it in the bushes.
And after tying up Warwick, he walked to the door, slammed it, and then quietly locked it. Slipped to the window and got out that way. Warwick, on the floor behind the bed, couldn't see him.
I can't believe it. Why? Why would he do all this? Kill Father and then try to put the blame on George?
Simple. With your father's death, you and your brother share the inheritance. And by framing Warwick, Chapman hoped to eliminate him and marry you for your money.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't.
Unfortunately, it's true. We haven't told Bill yet, but as soon as he gets here, we're going to tell him
You're not going to do anything. I'm shutting you up now.
All right, Chapman, drop that pistol. I've got you covered. That's it. Okay, folks, you can come out from behind the sofa.
Helen. And Mr. and Mrs. North.
Yeah, what you shot were just dummies. Life-size dolls, which you probably can see yourself now that you take the time.
Mr. and Mrs. Proxy. Oh, poor Mrs. Proxy. You hit her right between the eyes.
Helen, you were in on this. You invited me here, left the front door open so I'd come in and overhear you.
Yes, Larry.
She didn't want to. But when we convinced her that you'd killed her father, she agreed.
Well, you can come along with me, Chapman. We didn't have any proof against you before, but we have now.
Thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Proxy. Gollies, Jerry. You know something?
What?
We're not such bad twisters ourselves, are we?
Do you think a film star has an easy life? Well, she doesn't. Making a picture is unusually hard work. She has to be up at dawn to have her makeup on and be ready in time. She works all day under blazing lights. Then there are personal appearances, for every star is busy with war work these days. And off the set as well as on, she has to look glamorous. Well, the beauty care that can keep her skin soft and radiant through all that has to be remarkably effective. And here's what Veronica Lake does. The Paramount star now appearing in So Proudly We Hail. She told us,
I take the 3-minute Woodbury Beauty Nightcap every night with Woodbury Cold Cream. The beauty results are thrilling.
well, girls, your skin may not have such hard treatment as a film star's, but if Woodbury Cold Cream can do so much for them, think what it can do for you. That's because Woodbury is much more than just cold cream. It's a complete beauty cream. Jars, 10 cents to $1.25. That's Woodbury, Woodbury, Woodbury Cold Cream. Get a jar tonight. Tune in again next Wednesday evening at the same time for another adventure of Mr. and Mrs. North. For thrills and laughs, be sure to listen, won't you? This is Ben Grauer saying good night for
Woodbury, 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 for the skin you love to touch.
This program came to you from New York. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Hello, listeners. I want you to meet me. I'm a champion shaver. You're a champion shaver? What next? Next thing to do, if you want to be a champion too, is to get Ingram shaving cream. But what would my wife say? Same as mine did. Here she is now.
We wives agree that husbands should use Ingram shaving cream. It gets rid of sandpaper face. If there's one thing a wife objects to, it's a stubbly beard on her man's chin. You men would be wise to think of your wives and use Ingrams for smoothness.
Yes, smooth types use soothing, smoothing Ingram. You smear a little on your face, then rub up a snowy foam of cool lather. Then a flick of your razor under the hot tap and a few deft strokes and the job's done. Wives say,
I could stroke my husband's cheek for hours now he uses Ingrams.
Definitely, sir. You should use Ingrams. A quality product of Bristol Myers Company Proprietary Limited, 127 Manor Street, Wellington.
Wait a minute. Have you heard the weird tales of the Whistler?
I'm the Whistler.
Here's the sanitarium, Harvey.
Is he still unconscious?
Yes. Here comes the attendant.
We're all ready for him, Mrs. Jackson. Take his feet, Harold. Oh, had to tie him, eh?
Yes, I had to give him a good one on the chin.
You'll have to watch him. He may try to get away when he comes to.
Don't worry, we've got a lot of tough cases here.
Don't let him know who brought him here.
And don't let him know I had anything to do with it.
Leave everything to us.
It's a 2-hour drive back to the city, Donna.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll phone you tomorrow.
Good. If anything happens, we'll call you.
Thank you. Good night.
Saturday night, and again CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales. I know many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the mysterious tale of Death Has a Thirst. The long black car with the handsome man at the wheel and the woman beside him returns to the highway and speeds on through the night. The man and woman sit staring ahead, lost in thought. The man is Harvey Davis. The woman, Mrs. Victor Jackson, wife of the unconscious man recently deposited at the sanitarium.
I'm sorry I dragged you into this, Harvey. But I had to have some help, and I knew I could depend on you.
It's all right, Donna. I only hope it'll do some good. Victor never drank a drop while we were in school.
He didn't drink when we were first married. But after his father died and Victor took over the business, he started.
It's a huge concern, and I guess he just couldn't take it. He's always had an inferiority complex.
But the thing that hurts me most is that the drinking has completely changed him. Why, he's suspicious of every move I make. He accuses me of the most disgraceful things. Accuses me of lying to him about everything and of being in love with other men. Oh, countless things.
Other men? What men?
Any man I speak to. Even you, Harvey.
Me? Well, after all, if he's going to be suspicious of any man, it would logically be me.
Why?
You've brought most of your troubles to me. He knows that. I'm as good a victim as any. He knows I'm terribly fond of you.
Are you, Harvey?
From the first day I met you, I said, here's a woman, a strong woman. Maybe she'll develop some backbone in my willy-nilly friend, Victor.
That's very nicely put, Harvey.
Let's hope this sanitarium does him some good.
If it doesn't, I don't know what I'll do.
Don't worry, Donna. Just remember, I'll do anything for you.
Thank you, Harvey.
About midnight, the black sedan arrives at the Jackson mansion. The butler greets Harvey and Donna at the door.
Evening, Mrs. Jackson. Evening, Mr. Davis.
Evening.
Dr. Saunders is in the library, ma'am. He's waiting for you.
Dr. Saunders at this hour? What on earth does he want?
You'd better see him, Donna. Maybe he knows.
Come with me, Harvey.
Of course.
Oh, good evening, Dr. Saunders.
Good evening, Donna. Evening, Harvey.
Hello, Doctor.
This is quite a surprise.
I can imagine.
Harvey and I, we've just been for a little drive. I felt I needed some air.
Oh, that's so.
Did you come to see Victor?
Victor isn't here.
Really?
But I know where he is.
You do?
He's in a cheap dive of a rooming house downtown.
What?
But that's impossible.
That's where he always goes.
Well, you're wrong this time, Doctor. I took him by force to a sanitarium tonight. Harvey helped me. Maybe they can do something for him.
You told the sanitarium that I was his physician, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, they called me an hour ago. He's escaped.
What?
Oh.
They said he came to and broke away from them. I know where he usually goes, and I can find him. If you want me to find him.
Well, what are you inferring, Doctor?
Donna, I know what you've been through with Victor. I know what a trial it's been. I've tried and you've tried. We've all tried everything we could do to make him stop. Not many women would have put up with what you have. We've dragged him through before. We probably can do it again. I just thought that, well...
You do know where he is?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I know.
Well, then find him. I'm determined to cure him if I have to take him to a desert island.
That's an idea. A long ocean trip might be the answer. You'd have to hog time.
I could do that, too.
Very well, I'll have a talk with him. I'll phone you in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Doctor. Oh, Harvey.
No. You've done your best, Donna.
Oh, but I feel so hopeless. I don't know what to do.
Try the desert island.
Why not? Harvey, it might work, mightn't it? You can help. Your yacht. Dr. Saunders may be right. Oh, at least it's worth a try.
I wonder.
Please, Harvey, it may be the answer.
I can't get away just now, but if you're determined, you're welcome to the yacht.
Oh, please, I'd feel better if you came along.
All right, Donna. I'll go. I'll arrange it. But he won't want to come.
We'll take him aboard by force.
Shanghai? Just let me know when you find him, and I'll arrange everything.
He sure was plastered. Well, I'll leave you alone with him, Doctor.
Thanks. That high pole will bring him out of this. Victor.
What's going on here? Who are you? Get away.
Quiet. Take it easy, Victor.
Huh? Who are you?
Doc Saunders.
Doc? Oh, what you want?
I want to talk to you, Victor. It's very important.
Important?
Come on, Victor. Snap out of it.
Hey, what's the idea? What you slapped me for?
To wake you up. I've got to talk to you.
Oh. What are you after?
Is your head clear?
I guess so.
Well, then listen to me. You know where you are?
Yeah, my old haunt.
You know how you got here?
Well, let me see. No, I can't seem to remember.
Well, I'll tell you where you're going if you don't pull yourself together.
Where?
To the insane asylum.
Did you say asylum?
I did. I haven't told you this, but your great-grandfather died insane.
What?
And that was your father's greatest fear, that he would be a victim.
Oh.
And there's nothing that hastens final mental breakdown more than alcohol.
Insanity. Are you just telling me that?
No, I can prove it.
Good Lord.
Do you want that to happen to you?
Oh, no. Oh, but I just can't seem to quit.
You're going away, Vic.
Away? Where?
I'm sending you on a long voyage with no liquor.
Oh, no. No, you're not. No, now, I'll get hold of myself.
You said that before.
I can take it or leave it alone if I want to.
But you haven't so far. You've gone from bad to worse. Now you're going where you can't get it.
But, Doc, I can't. I'd die. I couldn't stand it.
You'll stand it and like it. If I have to kill you.
No. No, I won't be pushed around by anyone. I know who's back of this, Donna. She wants to get rid of me. Asylum, yeah. Yeah, that'd suit her fine. She'd like that. So she can cavort around with Harvey and all the others.
Shut up, Vic.
You're all planning to get rid of me. You don't like me.
You're taking a trip.
Get rid of me and you all share in the estate. Well, you'll see how much good it'll do. Oh.
But you are taking a trip, Victor.
And now, here you are, Victor, several hundred miles at sea. And worried, too, aren't you, Victor? That talk about insanity really upsets you. You believe it, too, don't you?
What's this? Where am I? Donna.
Do you feel better?
What is this? It's moving. I feel dizzy.
I don't think you're dizzy. We're on a boat, darling.
What boat?
We're on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
A boat? Doc Saunders. That's what he said. A voyage. It's his idea.
Oh, now, Victor, everything's going to be all right.
I know what you're planning to do. You're planning to kill me. You want to get rid of me. Want me to die.
You won't die.
Whose boat is this?
Harvey's yacht.
Harvey. Now I know it's a plot. Now I know what it's all about. You and Harvey, that's it.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Victor. Harvey consented to let me have the yacht.
Is he on board?
Yes.
Of course. You and Harvey and me a prisoner. What a perfect setup.
You don't mean that, Victor.
I've been suspicious of you two all along. Who else is on board?
Nobody but the captain and the crew of 4. And Harvey and the doctor.
Where are you taking me?
We're just cruising.
Just cruising. Till you find the right spot.
Right spot for what?
To dump me overboard. No one will ever know, will they? And you'll say I jumped over. I was washed over the side.
Oh, Victor, what has happened to you? You're like a stranger to me. I just don't know you. It doesn't seem possible that you're the man I married. My darling, what's happened to you?
Don't you know?
If I only did.
Why, I'm crazy. Insane. Surely you knew that. My great-grandfather was insane, and my grandfather, and undoubtedly my father, so why not me?
You're talking nonsense.
No. Hasn't Doc Saunders told you what he knows?
I know.
Oh, come now. You three are closer than that.
Stop talking such nonsense. I won't listen.
I'm getting out of this cabin. I can't stand to be cooped up like
this. No, please stay here for a while, Victor. Please. Here, I brought you some milk. Please drink it.
Milk? Ah. Got a funny color to it. And it smells strange. What's in it? Arsenic?
It's just plain milk, Victor. Now drink it.
Do you like milk, Donna?
Yes, I love milk.
Then drink it yourself.
Victor! Oh, all over my dress.
You're trying to poison me, that's it. Now get out of here. Get out.
Oh, Victor, please, darling.
Get out! Oh. What do you want, Doc?
How do you feel, Victor?
They're trying to kill me. They plan to kill me.
Who?
Donna and Harvey. She just brought me some milk, and it had poison in it. I could tell by the color.
I think you're imagining things, Victor.
No, I'm not. They want me out of the way. I can tell.
What made you think the milk was poison?
It was a purplish color. Here's the glass. Smell it. Maybe I'm not so crazy after all.
I didn't say you were crazy. I only want you to stop drinking. Drink may bring it on.
Doc, where would they get poisoned?
Oh, come now, forget it.
Do you know where they'd get poisoned?
I'll see you later, Victor.
Maybe.
Did you send for me, Doctor?
Yes. Did you take some milk to Victor?
Yes, I did.
What'd you put in it?
Why should I put anything in it?
Victor thinks you did.
You should know me better than that, Doctor.
You did put something in it.
Oh, yes, I did. Some of that red liquid to make him quiet. And he threw it all over me. Oh, I I'm thoroughly disgusted, Doctor. I can't go on with him this way. He isn't drinking, but there's something wrong. I decided to give it up as a bad job. I'm going to get a divorce.
Divorce? I'm afraid it's too late for that, Donna.
Too late? Why, what do you mean?
Well, there's something I haven't told you. I've been hoping it wouldn't be necessary. But after today, I've given up all hope.
Why can't I get a divorce?
You can't get a divorce from an insane person.
Insane? Good heavens.
There's been a secret in Victor's family for several generations. Not even Victor knew it. It touched his father ever so lightly, but Victor has all the symptoms. And the liquor has hastened the crack up. I couldn't be certain as long as he was drinking. But today, I realized the truth.
Why, I'm bewildered. I've never been so shocked in my life. I wish you hadn't told me.
I'm sorry, Donna. I wanted you to be on your guard. He has some strange hallucination about you and Harvey. He thinks you're planning to do away with him.
Do away with him? Oh, but that's ridiculous. I've never had such a thought. Never. Oh, but now I am frightened. Doctor, what about Alice?
Your daughter's only 8 years old. There are no symptoms, and it may miss her entirely.
But think what this will mean. If this gets out about Victor, why, it may ruin her whole life.
I understand that.
That must never happen. It must remain a secret.
That'll be difficult. It's going to be hard to handle when that craving returns.
Yes, he will. I'll think of something. I'll find a way.
Doctor, come quickly. It's Harvey Davis.
What's wrong, Captain?
Found him in his bunk with a cord around his neck.
Good heavens. Quiet, Donna. Come along.
Is he dead?
No, he's breathing. Found him just in time. He'll be all right in a few minutes.
Thank heaven.
Harvey.
Harvey.
Donna, what's wrong? What's happened?
Nothing much, Harvey. Just a little accident. You'll be all right.
Oh, my throat. What's going on?
You don't remember?
No, I was just taking a little nap. I feel as though I'd been choked.
Better tell him, Donna. Come along, Captain. Be any liquor aboard, Captain?
Yes, Doctor. Several bottles in the locker in my cabin.
Let's have a look.
I keep it locked because, Hey, it's been jimmied. What do you know? It's all gone.
I expected that.
I'll skin those men alive.
Don't blame the men, Captain.
What do you mean? What the devil is that? We've hit something. Come on. Captain! What is it, man? What's wrong with you?
The boilers blew up. We must have hit a reef. All 3 of the men of the crew are down there. We've got to abandon. I'm hurt bad, Captain.
He's dead.
See to the lifeboat. Round up the others. I'll go below.
Yes, Captain.
Murphy! John! Murphy! Are you there? Good Lord, what a mess. I can't imagine.
Two days pass. The sun beats down relentlessly on the 5 survivors in the open boat. The doctor watches anxiously over the still unconscious captain. And Donna and Harvey keep a constant eye on Victor, who sits alone in the end of the boat staring at the horizon.
How's the captain, Doctor? Still holding his own. Must have had a bad fall down that companionway.
I don't think he fell.
Good thing you went down after him.
We're running low on water. I hope we sight some land today. How much water have you left in your canteen, Donna?
Half full.
Hey, look over there. What's that?
Why, it's a ship.
No, it's land. An island. Grab an oar, Victor. Come on, Doc. Well, I've looked all around. The place is as barren of food and water as the Sahara Desert. I'm afraid if we do locate any water, it won't be fit to drink.
There must be water.
What do you care about water? You've got a canteen full of whiskey.
How much water is left?
I have some, and Dr. Saunders has some.
So I'd better get busy. Although my experiences on these islands haven't been so good.
Here's a chance to put your chemistry to use, Harvey. You know the test for lead and zinc?
Yes.
I'll give you 2 vials, some sodium sulfide tablets, and some potassium chromate. You know the test, 1 tablet of each and 10 cc's with water.
Mm-hmm.
A dark precipitate means poison.
Yes, I know. Thanks, Doc. Well, I'll start off and keep a direct line to the other side, wherever that is.
Wait a minute, Harvey. I think I'll go with you.
Oh, why?
Oh, maybe I can help.
I'd go with you, Harvey, but I'd better keep my eye on the captain. He's the only one who knows where we are. I've got to pull him through.
That's all right, Doc. I don't need any help.
I think I'll go anyway.
All right. If you insist, come on.
Harvey, wait. I'm going too.
Why?
Because I want to.
We don't need you.
But I'm coming just the same. Please, Harvey, I'd like to come.
All right. Let's go. It's certainly hot. How do you feel, Donna?
All right. How far have we come?
Oh, 10 miles, I should say. This is a pretty big island at that. And nothing but desert.
Are you sure those last 2 water holes were poisoned?
Certainly.
Look good to me. I'm getting mighty thirsty.
Better quit drinking that whiskey. It'll only make you thirstier.
Harvey, can I have a little water?
I'm sorry, Donna, but you'll have to suffer it as long as you can. Please wait.
You suppose we'll ever get out of here? It's all my fault. What a shame to get you into such a mess. Please forgive me, Harvey.
There's nothing. I'd do it again 100 times over. For you.
Would you, Harvey?
Yes, sad thing.
No one must ever know, Harvey. Promise me if we get out of this. Promise me you'll never let anyone know.
No one will ever learn from me.
I got him! I got him!
What on earth?
Harvey, he's got a gun.
Where'd he get it? Come on.
I got him. Look, a lizard. A big one. I knew we'd find something.
Put that down. You can't eat that.
There must be water around here. There must be.
Where'd you get that gun?
Out of the captain's locker.
Better take it easy with those shells. We may need them.
Yeah. Maybe I will. Have a drink?
No.
All right. I'd sure like some water. How about it?
There's just enough for one of us to get back. And if only one goes back, it'll be Donna.
Donna? How chivalrous. Who's got the water?
I have.
Come on. Let's keep moving.
There's water around here. There must be. And I'm going to find it.
Donna, or he's going to start pleading for what you have. No matter how much he raves or pleads, don't give it to him. Gun. Tell him you drank it all.
I appreciate it.
I found it. Water. I found water.
Hurry, Donna. Hurry.
Well, what about it? What's the test show?
Just like all the rest. It's full of lead and zinc and heaven knows what else.
Poison, huh?
Worst yet.
How about some of that water?
What water?
In Donna's canteen.
There isn't any more.
Who drank it?
I did.
You both did. You left none for me.
You've got your whiskey.
I can't drink whiskey all the time.
Done pretty well on it for several years.
I've got to have some water.
Harvey won't you?
Harvey. Is that all you think about, Harvey? You should have married Harvey.
Perhaps you're right about that.
Are you sure that water's poison?
I'm not drinking it, and I'm 32.
Maybe you're just waiting.
For what?
I don't know. But I can imagine a few things.
We'd better stop here for the night. Where are you going, Victor?
Just going to look around. May find something. I'm hungry.
I'm going to build a fire with this brush. Don't get too far away.
I'll be around. Don't worry.
Keep a close watch on your canteen, Donna. I'll try not to sleep, but I'm dead tired.
I'll do my best, Harvey.
If he goes to sleep, I'll try to get Donna.
Good night, Harvey.
Night comes on. The fire burns low. And only a red glow remains. Donna, in spite of herself, drops off into a sound sleep. Victor stirs from his place 20 feet away, looks about him, and crawls silently toward the sleeping Donna.
Put it down, Victor.
I want some water.
There isn't any more.
I think there is.
You heard what I said.
You're lying. You have got some.
Victor, what is it?
You've got some water and you won't give me any.
Harvey!
I'm wise to you. You don't want me to have any. You want me to die. You're in love with each other.
You're drunk.
What if I am in love with Harvey? What of it?
Donna.
You want me out of the way. Neither of you's very thirsty, no. Because you had some water. And you got it out of that pool. You're lying to me. It's good water.
You're crazy.
You sneaked it out of there while I was asleep. You tried to make me think it was poison. I ought to shoot you both.
All right, Victor, if you're so positive. Go on down and drink out of the pool.
That gives me an idea. I'll just find out if that water's poison. Go drink some of it, Harvey.
Certainly not.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
It's poison, Victor.
Go ahead, drink or I'll shoot.
No, don't do it, Harvey.
Then supposing you drink some, Donna.
Very well, I will.
Victor, it'll kill her. Donna, wait. I'll drink it. You're a fool, Victor. But come along.
This is going to be very interesting.
Not as much as you think.
Get off of me! I'll kill you! Maybe that'll hold you, Harvey.
Harvey.
I'm all right, Donna. I hope you're satisfied now that it is poison, Victor.
Maybe. But you two are getting water from someplace. All right. Hand over that canteen, Donna.
Please, Victor. That's what Donna.
I'll take care of it for all of us. And if either of you make a move toward me, I'll shoot both of you. Good night. And sleep tight, both of you.
The night slowly fades, and the chill of dawn creeps in. Then, as the sun comes over the horizon, Harvey stirs fretfully, opens his eyes, and looks for Donna. She sits beyond the dead embers of the campfire, her hands folded before her, staring blankly into space. Harvey raises up with a start and moves quickly to her side. Victor is sprawled on his back, the hilt of a hunting knife protruding from his breast.
Donna, what's happened to Victor?
He's dead, Harvey.
Dead?
Yes, it's mine. Now no one will ever know. I had to.
Saunders. Here we are.
Well, thank heavens we found you. Sighted a ship, built a signal fire. They're waiting for us. Well, this.
Well, Victor must have gone crazy in the night and stabbed himself.
Now, let me see. How'd this happen?
I told you he must have
stabbed himself.
No, he didn't. I stabbed him. It's my knife. I got to thinking, and I crept over and I stabbed him.
I see. When did you do this, Donna?
It was not more than an hour ago. I couldn't help it, Doctor. I couldn't help it.
Please, Donna, please. There's nothing to fear.
I didn't want anybody to know. Because of Alice.
What? He's been dead for at least 3 hours.
Well, what do you mean?
Look at his eyes. Look at his lips and his tongue. The swelling of his stomach.
I warned him, but he thought we were lying to him. There wasn't much in it, but it was all we had.
He's been drinking whiskey, so a little water wouldn't satisfy him. So he drank from the pool. I guess it's just as well.
Don't worry, Donna. No one will ever know. We'll lay doctor.
There's nothing to tell. Except Victor Jackson poisoned himself in a fit of extreme thirst.
No, Donna. No one will ever know. You did your best. You tried hard to make things work out. But somehow fate seemed to take things right out of your hands. But you know better, don't you, Harvey? You know what happened. Tell us.
After Victor took the canteen from Donna and drank, I knew he'd wake up with a greater... He's better off.
There you are. From drama to tragedy. From tragedy to a beautiful love story wherein they will live happily ever after. I know.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler stories are written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originate from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time,
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you the incredible tale of the Secret Seven. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Enough soap is good. Too much is not so good. Use just enough soap flakes to give you a good cleansing lather. Choose snowflakes, the thinner, finer flakes that dissolve instantly. A little goes a long way, making a lasting lather.
Rinsing is important. Wash out all the soap. That's easy with quick-dissolving snowflakes.
Woolies stay soft and springy when washed with snowflakes. The gentle cleansing suds coax out the dirt and never coarsen fibers. Gentle snowflakes help you to make your stockings last longer. Wash them with snowflakes after every wearing. That's the way to keep threads live and prevent the brittleness that causes ladders.
Ask your grocer or store for snowflakes, the thinner, finer soap flakes for washing stockings, underwear, laces, and all your personal finery. Made by McLeod Brothers Limited, Cumberland Street, Dunedin.
To the men, living and dead, who did these things, we dedicate this program, The Dam Busters, presented by the author himself, Paul Brickhill, dramatized by Morris West, an Australasian radio production.
Good evening. This is Paul Brickhill speaking. After the excitement of the Tirpitz came anticlimax. Unbroken cloud lay over Europe for weeks, making high-precision bombing impossible. As they couldn't work off their high spirits in action, the 617 boys got rid of them in their own way back at the station. They didn't realize that Cochrane was preparing another shock for them, although by this time it was a shock they should have been used to.
It's true, chaps. I'm going. Well, that's what the gentleman said. I mustn't strain the luck too far, so I'm grounded.
Oh, well, it's fair enough from your point of view, Skipper. 4 DSOs and 2 DFCs is enough gongs for any man to collect. But, what about the squadron?
Well, chaps, I don't know. Cochrane doesn't know either. When I saw him at headquarters, he told me he was a bit stuck. There was nobody on the list who really appealed to him.
Well, that's a pretty lookout, isn't it? 617, the crack squadron, the boys who sank the Tirpitz. No, look, I'm serious. Listen, and the next CO they send us will be some lousy crock that Bomber Command wants to get rid of.
Listen, chaps, now, for Pete's sake, quit binding about it. Cochrane's never let us down yet, has he?
Well, no, but there's always got to be a first time. Besides, Cochrane himself admits he's scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Come in. Good of you to see me at such short notice, sir.
What's it? Forgive me, I'm a little preoccupied. You're Farquhar, aren't you? Air Commodore Farquhar?
That's right.
Yes, I heard your call. You didn't mention what you wanted to see me about.
I didn't want to prejudice these discussions before they were properly started.
I have an open mind on most things.
Well, then, here goes. You have a vacancy. The command of 617 Squadron. I'd like to have it.
Why?
It's a good outfit. Handles tough business. I think I'd like to join it.
You're an Air Commodore. This is only a wing commander job.
Well, at least that should convince you I'm not chasing promotion.
Yes. Well, you're the first man who's ever asked me to cut his pay and reduce his rank so they can have the privilege of being killed.
Well, I think you'd die quicker sitting behind a desk.
You were a commercial pilot, weren't you?
Well, back home in Canada, they called us bush pilots. It was either a curse or a compliment, depending on the way you looked at it.
Yes, but I'll take a look at your record. In view of your present rank, I imagine it'll bear close inspection. There is one thing, however.
Yes, sir.
617 isn't an easy squadron to handle. They're a little above themselves. A little conscious of their reputation. A little jealous of trespass. They regard themselves as an elite. which they are. They tend to make things tough for the newcomer. They did it at Cheshire, and they did it at Tate.
Well, I guess if I can take what they hand me, I guess they'll take what I give them.
Yes, well, that's sound enough. I'll be quite frank with you, Farquhar. I searched my list for a man to take this job, and you're the first one who recommends himself to me. I'll have to think about it a little more, of course, but one way or the other, I'll be in touch with you very soon. There is one thing, however.
Yes, sir.
If you take this job, you'll have to see that the squadron is kept up to the mark and stays as good as ever. That's easy enough in operations, but in bad weather, idle weather, like we're having now, it's...
Sorry to be late, sir. I had a bit of a job getting here. That wind's a tearing gale.
Well, Chiefy, what are the boys doing?
Oh, well, sir, half of them are doing PT in the oil. The other half are shoveling snow off the runway, sir.
Are they happy?
Well, sir, I wouldn't exactly say they were happy, but they are very busy. Also, they're in better condition, sir, than they've been for a little while.
Good work, Chiefy. Yeah, but I wish this damned weather would break. Then we could give them some real work again.
Yes, sir, quite agree. Well, any further orders, sir?
Yeah. PT tomorrow morning as usual. Lecture at 1100. The rest I'll let you know later.
Very good, sir.
That's all, Chiefy. Park, we are here. Ops room? All right. Oh, yeah. Good. I'll be right over. All right, chaps, all right. Hey, look, I know you've been sitting about for weeks now, waiting for the weather to clear, but...
Hey, break it down, Skipper. Been waiting for the weather, but we certainly haven't been sitting down.
Okay. I'll buy you a beer on that when you get back. The weather is a couple of points better than bad, so they've given us a job. It's here.
Bergen again, eh? You bet pins. Piece of cake.
According to the reports on your last job, it should be. But this time, there's another factor. Fighters.
Well, that's unusual. I thought maybe...
It's unusual, but logical enough. The U-boats are Germany's last effective weapon of attack. So she's going to protect them with everything she's got. Intelligence reports say simply, expect fighter opposition. Could be in strength. Well, that tells you as much as it tells me.
No chance of fighter cover for us.
Not a hope. Too far. Besides, they need them in Europe. Or so they tell me. Now, you know the target layout. The bombing order will be...
This is later. Bomb is ordered. Then stick around and give the boys a hand with the fighters. Over. Let me know what goes on, fellas. I'm going up for a crack at that. Flyers board is given straight into the sea. Hell, they're going for Nicky Ross. 3 of them. They're cutting him to bits. Dive, Nicky, dive. God, 3 engines on fire. He's spinning, Skipper. He can't pull out. He can't. Hello, leader. Port Inlet's on fire. Practically no fore and aft response. I'll bail out the boys and see if I can keep her flying a little longer, over. Good luck, boy. Hold it. Hold it a minute. They're breaking off. Over. I don't know whether she'll hold together, but I'd like to take her home. Give it a go, boy. But leave yourself a margin. Keep in touch. Over.
That's the last of them, Chiefy. Iverson's home, Castagnola's home. That leaves...
Mr. Ross, sir. Yeah. By all accounts, he bought it this time. Funny thing, you know, sir. I always liked Mr. Ross. One of the old hands he was. And that...
Watch her, Chiefy, watch her. Home again.
Mr. Ross, sir. Oh, where the hell... I mean, where did you spring from, sir?
Out of the drink. Yes, the rescue picked us up. It was really cold in that dinghy.
Do you know what I was doing, sir, when you walked in?
No, Chiefy, what?
You was typing out your death notice.
Little premature, isn't it, Chiefy? Just a little premature.
Well, Wallace, how's the big fellow going? The big bomb.
Oh, it's going very well now, Cochrane. We're nearly ready, in fact. But we've had the devil's own trouble with the thing.
What's been the trouble?
Oh, same old thing. The search for an alloy strong enough to stand up to the shock. English Steel Corporation made it finally. But that wasn't the only thing. The next job was casting. Do you know, Cochrane, that for each bomb, they have to build an individual concrete-covered core, which must be accurate to a 10,000th of an inch? They have to position that exactly inside a sand surface mold, pour the metal in and wait for it to cool. Then they have to send it 100 miles for machining. I don't mean to bore you with this, but it's interested me profoundly. You know, Cochrane, we've had 1,000 craftsmen on this job, and only about a dozen of them know what it's all about.
You know, that really does surprise me, Wallace. The security of these things is usually the hardest to handle.
Well, officially, the thing is labeled a boiler. That doesn't fool anyone, of course. Some of the workers think it's a new type of midget submarine. Most of them are content to call it the Big Blighter.
And have you tested it yet?
Oh, my dear chap, we're still working on the problem of transporting and filling it. The Army has all the cranes. The railways can't carry it, so we have to build special trailers. Then at the filling factory, we have to build a special platform around it and put in the explosive a bucket at a time. There are a lot of buckets in 10 tons.
What about the fuse? Remember you had trouble with the tallboy?
That's almost completed. But it has been very tricky. It's the same old problem to design a delicate timing mechanism strong enough to withstand impact at 1,000 miles an hour and still function accurately. But I think we've done it all right.
When can we start testing?
My dear Cochrane, there's no question of testing, no question at all. You just have to take our word for that.
What, you mean that
I mean, these things are so difficult and so expensive to make that we can't afford to waste a single one. You'll just be given a bomb and told to drop it on target. And, hope to God it goes off.
As usual, Cochrane let no one know of the excitement he was feeling now the big bomb was almost a reality.
I've called you here, Farquhar, to tell you that... By the way, I suppose you'll be delighted to see that I've got your name correct at last.
That's okay, sir.
I must say, with that spelling, well, it reminds me of a bloke we had at school, but that's beside the point. I called you here to tell you that as soon as the weather clears, you'll be undertaking a rather unusual operation.
Yes, sir.
You'll be using for the first time a 10-ton bomb, called for the purposes of the operation the Grand Slam.
10 tons is a hell of a Grand Slam in anyone's language. Will the crates be able to carry them?
We'll see that they do. There'll be only 2 bombs carried on this operation. You and Calder will carry them. Your aircraft will be specially modified to carry them.
Oh, how modified, sir? I want to get this part clear.
You'll have new Merlin engines. The fuselages and undercarriages and main beams of the bomb bays will be specially strengthened, and the bomb doors will be taken off. They couldn't close around this fellow anyway.
I'd like to suggest, sir, that if we're to drop this new 10-tonner on an operation, we should have some test runs.
Yes, well, I agree with the principle, my dear chap, but its practice is out of the question.
Well, then at least we should be present at a test drop.
Yes, but again, it's most desirable. Again, quite impossible.
With all respect, sir, this is the craziest damn thing I've ever heard of.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. But the factors against us are expense, the slow production rate, and lack of stocks. So there will be only one test. One bomb will be detonated on the ground. Then the same day, you will drop 2 others on a target to be selected.
You know, sir, I think the joke's on us.
What joke?
Well, sir, usually the scientists have to stand around and watch while we test and retest calculations that they have tested 1,000 times already. This time we have to take their word for it.
You know, I wondered why Wallace was looking so smug. For the first time since the beginning of the war, we just have to take his word for it.
Now, tonight's operation is important in itself, but it is also important as a piece of training for an operation which will be carried out in the near future. A very, very important operation.
Every operation is equally important to 617.
Well, your most important operation, Nicky, is to keep your trap shut while we attend to the business in hand.
Sorry, Skipper.
Now, this is the position strategically. Eisenhower's armies are gathering for a leap across the Rhine right into the heart of Germany. However, there are still very strong concentrations of German arms and supplies up here in the Ruhr and in northwest Germany. Now, the Commander-in-Chief has asked all the air forces to disrupt, as far as possible, the communications between the German frontline troops and those supplies and reinforcements in the north. Tonight's operation is part of that plan of disruption.
What's the specific target, Skipper?
The specific target is the Bielefeld Viaduct here.
Oh, this squadron's not very happy about Viaduct, Skipper. We've had a crack at a couple, and they're still standing.
Well, let's see if we can break the hoodoo tonight. Now, the first problem is the flight plan. We have to cross some of the heaviest flak areas in Germany, and the best we've been able to do for you isn't very good. So, this is the route you'll take in, and this is the way you'll come home.
Well, couldn't they give us fighter protection just for once?
According to the intelligence boys, you won't need it. Germany's pretty low on fighters now.
Well, she wasn't so damn low on the Norway run.
Yeah, well, the answer is no fighters. Now, let's take a look at the photographs. From 18,000 feet, this is what it looks like.
Just a straight line.
Don't ask me how we're going to hit it. I wouldn't know either. But the AOC seems to think that by using tall boys and getting some near misses, we might be able to bring it down. I agree that on the face of it, it's like playing darts and trying to hit the lines and not the spaces. All right, any more questions?
Yes, Skipper. You mentioned a new and special operation. Any idea what it is?
It's not for publication yet, Nicky, but it's something out of the box.
The only thing I want out of the box is a grounding order and an indefinite leave pass.
Well, you crack the viaduct for me tonight, and I'll get you some leave.
Okay, Skipper, it's a deal.
This is Leader calling Ash Sugar. Come in and bomb Nicky over. Coming in, Skipper. One eye on the target, one on the leave pass. Over. Keep both eyes on target. Good luck.
No leave pass, Skipper.
No leave pass, Nicky boy. There are the recce photographs. There are craters all around the damn thing, right in its shadow, but the viaduct is still there.
Yeah, it looks a bit like that hotel they built in Tokyo to withstand the earthquakes. Shake it as much as you like, it still stands up.
Trouble is, there's not much to shake in a structure like that. Each pillar of the viaduct is a separate construction. Unless you throw the pillars out, you won't shift the arches. There's so much free air about that the surface blast is dissipating.
All of which, my dear Skipper, was repeated in every operation report on the Antio viaduct. It's just working by guess and by God.
Now, just a minute, Nicky.
Is that you, Farquhar?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen the recce photographs?
Yes, sir. Very disappointing.
I'd like to have another go.
As many as you say, sir.
This one would be with the Grand Slam.
Now you're really talking, sir. When?
Within 48 hours. I'm going down with Wallace to see this ground test. Meantime, I want you to stack up another operation. And wait for word from me.
Very good, sir. What will the word be?
The word will be, the beast went off all right.
It's a lovely day, Wattis.
Yes. Yes. A little unseasonable, though.
Well, if the weather holds, we'll christen the Grand Slam tomorrow.
Let's not rush it, my dear chap. After all, we haven't had the test yet.
I seem to remember, Wattis, that it was you who deprecated the idea of the test. I seem to remember that we had to take your word for it.
Oh. Well, you must admit, Cochrane, I've had so few victories over your people that even a Pyrrhic one is something. By the way, what target are you trying this on?
The Bielefeld Viaduct.
Viaduct, eh? In the case of a viaduct, of course, a great amount of the shock wave is dissipated. But it's a splendid test. A splendid test. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
We've had one crack at it with the Tor boys. We got several near misses, but the structure wasn't damaged.
Get the same near misses with this big fellow, and I'll guarantee a result.
What's the delay?
Last-minute adjustments to the fuses. Also, we've had a certain amount of trouble with the positioning of the camera. We're using the same trick as before, photographing through a mirror. But we've been having some difficulty with the refraction. Shouldn't be long now.
Yes, it's been a long time, Wattis. A long time.
When I look back on it, it all seems to have gone all too quickly. But when I remember the frustration and hopelessness of those first months, I don't think I'd care to go through them again.
Tell me, Wallace, as a scientist diverted from creation to destruction, where do you see your own future?
You touch a nerve that's given me many sleepless nights, Cochrane. In one sense, my work will not change very greatly. I shall still be occupied with problems of applied science, aerodynamics and supersonics, stresses and strains. But I shall never again be able to divorce my researches from their possible consequences. I shall never again be able to sit in the lotus bower of the pure research worker and quit myself of any responsibility for the use or abuse of my researches. I may not be able to control them. It's one of the facts of life that no man can control the use of the knowledge which he gives to the human race. But at least I shall try to have a voice to write a commentary in the margin of my researches, so that those who use them may do so with profit to themselves and to their fellows. It sounds odd, doesn't it, in the face of that shining monster over there? But it's sincere nonetheless. You see, Cochrane, that's what I've been doing, I and men like me, creating monsters and handing them over to men like you.
And I, in turn, hand them to men who might be my own sons. God, what is it? It's a tangled world.
We are both tired. Come on, let's get this over with.
All set?
All set, Mr. Wallace.
Oh. Prepare to detonate in 10 seconds from now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. Well, that's it, Cochrane. The Grand Slam.
As you say, Wallace. That's it. May I use this phone?
Go ahead.
Hello? Toll? I want you to give me an immediate priority call to the Air Force Station at Woodhall Spar. Yes, that's right. Woodhall Spar. Now, the person I wish to speak to is Wing Commander Farquhar. Yes, Farquhar. The caller is Air Vice Marshal Cochrane. Thank you very much. I'll hold on.
Are the boys all ready to go?
All they're waiting for is word from me.
Farquhar here. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Farquhar. This is Cochrane here.
Yes, sir.
I just thought I'd tell you. The beast went off all right.
Thanks very much for joining us tonight for Sunday Night with Old Time Radio. We hope to see you here again next week. We broadcast from 8 to 11 p.m. Central Time. Until then, sleep tight. This is a production of Lobato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.